owns in Mobile. The project will include a new ship lift system with an articulated lifting platform, which allows for the ships to be placed in the water after assembly is completed in the manufacturing facility, which will then free up the indoor space for other ship projects. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
A woman in Decatur is arrested and charged with physical abuse of a child. Police were called into a situation after the child ran away from home and was found nearby needing medical attention. Hospital personnel then reported injuries that are consistent with physical abuse. Jessica Cowley is now facing charges of willful abuse of a child. The Tarrant City Council has voted to launch an investigation into the Tarrant Police Chief, Wendell Major. The police chief was placed on administrative leave last week by the Tarrant mayor. This will be the third time that the mayor has been placed on such a leave. The other two have occurred since April of 2023. City's attorney will now hire a third party to conduct that investigation. Honda is recalling 750,000 vehicles here in the U.S. due to a faulty sensor involving the passenger side airbags. The faulty sensor may inflate in an untimely manner, and there is a risk of injury for a child or small adult sitting in that passenger seat. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi, this is Sky Mosley for your hometown conservative newspaper, the Alabama Gazette. Published in beautiful downtown Montgomery, serving the river region and central Alabama proper for over 24 years, always under the banner of God, family, and country. You can find the Gazette at many fine business establishments throughout the area and an excellent value for your advertising dollar. The Gazette provides you with a ready-made audience that shares your values, beliefs, and principles. Give them a call, 356-6700. Advertising with the Alabama Gazette is surprisingly affordable and extremely effective. 356-6700, the Alabama Gazette. Honest, informative, trustworthy, your conservative alternative newspaper. Real local news from real local people. The Alabama Gazette, they are most worthy of your support. Pro-life, pro-family, pro-America. 356-6700, give them a call. The Alabama Gazette, the people's paper.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert, and I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit, 800-848-1331. That's 800-848-1331.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
I got hairy legs. I got worms.
Can you get a cough, please?
I'm also very much of a germaphobe, by the way.
What the hell are we doing here?
We are behaving the way a superpower ought to behave.
Well, our behavior has produced some crappy results.
In politics, man must learn to rise above principle.
Stop playing with it.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Fat broads and horse face.
Shut up, silly woman.
Hey, miss, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a fella in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his can.
I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Plenty to get to today, and more focusing on state politics to kick off the show. I appreciate it, Mark Cumby saying, "Let's go, Joey, the Tucker Carlson of Alabama." Well, that's very kind, sir, but I don't like Putin that much. But again, we're going to get to state politics, become tradition here, to kick off the show with Jeff Poor. Of course, he's the host of the Jeff Poor Show, 106.5 FM in the Mobile area, and editor-in-chief at 1819 News. How you doing this afternoon, Jeff?
Doing well, Joey. Thanks for having me on.
Yep, thanks for being on. And you were at the State of the State last night, right?
I was in the rotunda just right outside the chamber, but yeah, I guess technically I was in the vicinity.
So before I give you my take from reading it and watching a few clips, what was your sense of the festivities last night?
These things get shorter and shorter every year. Last night, clocked in at 25 minutes. Governor Ivey's first State of the State, I think it was 2018, was like more than an hour. And ever since that point, they've been getting shorter and shorter over time. I just kind of, but the two eye-catching things were obviously gambling language got into the State of the State. My understanding was it wasn't going to be in there. They didn't think they had the votes. They look like they got the votes now to get into the constitutional amendment. So that was number one. And number two was just kind of the prolonged thing about school choice. I don't know if this is going to scratch the itch for a lot of the school choicers out there. It seems like a first step, but I told to just be wary of these first steps will promise us some bigger things later.
Well, and I do believe in the idea that you should not make the perfect the enemy of the good. But that's saying the school choice thing, and you know where I stand on it. I think if I had my way, I'd abolish public education. I know it ain't going to happen, folks. I get it, but I'm just being honest here. So when I saw this presentation, it's kind of like Kay Ivey was telling us, "Oh, you're 16, and I'm going to get you a brand new car, sugar." And you're like, really? I don't even have to work for it? No, we're going to get you a brand new car. And she shows up and unveils a Yugo or something. And like, I think it's like the most bare bones economy car approach to school choice. That said, this isn't too awful. What is the number? $7,000 up for, take a kid to a private school?
Yeah, but of course it's like means tested. So there. What it looks like to me, Joey, is the school choice option had to be something that wouldn't be a big hit on the Education Trust Fund. Mm-hmm. And I talked to Senator Orr last night. They wanted to make sure that it wouldn't deplete the ETF, but he thinks it will be covered. Now, he would know better than I, but just on the growth of the ETF, that will cover the cost of the school choice.
And what is it's capped, right? So
it's capped, right?
What, 100 million?
So they don't anticipate any shortfalls caused from this. And it's going to be, everybody's going to get a slice of the cake, the same size slice they've always got.
Well, now going back over everything we just talked about, why do you think it's getting shorter and shorter every year?
Everybody's got suspicions, and Kay Ivey's health is not conducive to these long speeches, but I don't know what else she could add, to be honest, because I'm kind of a fan of the shorter State of the States. I don't need her to get up there and tell me about all the virtues of, like, the big mules or whatever, which that would be my fear of a long State of the State, but I think it's I just think she's got, especially in a lame duck sort of situation that she's in, she said all she needs to say.
Well, and I have heard it said that even the best orators, the best speakers in the world should probably at max go about 30 minutes. And politicians, governors and presidents in particular, have been violating that for many, many years. But Governor Ivey used in pushing gambling, I think one of your favorite lines. It's now time for the Alabama voters to have a say. Let the people vote on this, Jeff.
Well, let me say this about Governor Ivey and why the state's so important. She does absolutely no media. She will show up on Capitol Journal with our buddy Todd Stacy on occasion,
right?
About once or twice a year. But she does no media. She has no relationship with the press. So we have no idea what's going on in the governor's office. We have to rely on these big marquee events like the State of the State to hear from the governor, because she doesn't take questions at her ribbon-cutting photo op. None of that happens anymore. So these State of the State addresses, they seem like a formality, but in this sort of climate with this kind of governor, I mean, I think they're really important to know what kind of policy direction she's taking.
Now, was there anything that wasn't the big headlines that kind of caught you by surprise, like a little nugget they put in there that they're trying to get done this session?
There's a lot of stuff that some of the lawmakers are kind of dead set against. The school of Demopolis, the health sciences school. There's a lot of people like, why on earth are we putting UAB and all this medical learning going on in Birmingham? Why would you do that in Demopolis? But she would spend a lot of time on that. I know the human trafficking thing got a lot of applause from the lawmakers. I tell you what was not in the State of the State that was kind of maybe telling. Didn't really talk about roads and infrastructure that much, did she?
Right.
I think I mentioned the Port of Mobile, but they know they are off track on this Rebuild Alabama and what they're prioritizing, and I don't think it's something that office wanted to highlight.
And again, folks, we're talking to Jeff Poore, and for folks who don't know, Jeff has been doing his show from the State House, from the Capitol, and where at least where they get the work done. And what's your just sense of the mood there? Like, are we about to head into a little bit of a car crash, or do they feel like we've got it pretty mapped out? It should be a productive session. What's the sense of folks down there?
Everybody's talking about gambling right now, and I had 5 lawmakers on my show, just wrapped up just now, and all of them were yeses on gaming. And the justification, we got to give the people the right to vote, or whatever. That's the justification. Then I just hear from people behind the scenes about the arm twisting going on. I don't know if that's the case or not. I hear conflicting things. But right now, I haven't gotten a sense of any of that yet. And I'm right here in the belly of the beast. But the day is young.
Well, and we'll see where it goes. This is an improvement, I think, from just the characterization I've seen from past years. I think it is an improvement. But, yeah, this has always been one of those jump balls it's hard to actually get done. Who knows who's going to end up with it, actually tipping it their way, if at all.
I tell you, one more thing, Joey, to watch for this year. They're going to take another stab at ethics reform. And why does this matter? When Republicans took over in 2010, because when you win your legislative race, there's not like governor or president or whatever. You are, when the election's official, you are now the representative. So what they did in 2010, while Bob Riley was still governor, they called a special session, and they passed a bunch of ethics laws that have haunted Republicans to this day. Well, they're going to try to change them again this year. Now, it's failed in the past. It's always been the third rail. This will upset a lot of the institutional left in the state. They'll like to use the prosecutorial authority to really keep some of these guys in power in check, because you have this broad ethics law that can be interpreted 100 different ways. It's on the books. Watch for this to be an ugly, ugly fight. Now, gambling is going to suck up all the oxygen in the room, but I promise you the ethics stuff is on everyone's radar.
Well, and off the top of my head, I really don't know at all any of the chapter and verse of the ethics laws. I do know a little bit about the general substance of it, with, controls like, I guess, donations and also I know.
Well,
what are they looking to change, kind of generally?
The definitions of like who is a principal or what a lobbyist is and a consultant, they can be so broadly interpreted, and this all gets back to Hubbard and what happened there. But it brought out a lot of questions. And one lawmaker was telling me, you go to an orientation, and they have 3 lawyers up there to say, hey, you need to make sure you pay attention to these ethics laws. And these ethics laws are not just for lawmakers; they're for all state employees. You need to pay attention to these, but you would get like 3 different answers from the legal minds of the state about what the right interpretation was. So what they're just trying to do, and I think this is a good faith effort, and I don't like rogue prosecutors trying to figure out a way to finagle the ethics laws to go after their political enemies. I think they just want to simplify the terms, or at least apply definitions to the terms in the law.
Well, I did not know that was up for grabs this session, so I appreciate you telling me that. And before I let you go, I kind of want to touch on some of the national stuff. What do you think about the news of Ronna McDaniel potentially stepping down after South Carolina or maybe Super Tuesday?
I mean, she's Trump's pick. They probably need somebody who's more of a wartime consigliere, right? She's been okay fundraising, but she spent a lot of money doing that too, and she's not very popular. I think heading into the election cycle, once Trump's the nominee and it's official, we start calling him presumptive nominee, then it's probably appropriate to make some kind of change.
Yeah, we'll see. I got a kick out of Matt Gaetz gave an endorsement to Kevin McCarthy to be the new RNC chair.
Well, what would the world be like without a Matt Gaetz?
I call him that shiny bastard a lot here on air, and
I was going to ask you, what's your take on my buddy Matt Gaetz?
He's a shiny bastard, but he's our shiny bastard. I'll put it that way. So
when I lived in Destin, he was my state lawmaker.
Oh, wow.
In the state house. I got to know his family okay. His dad is a lot like him. They're really compelling politicians. Right. Like him or hate him, they're very compelling, very good at the craft.
Now, generally speaking, I would take him all day, every day. I'd be happy to have him as my congressman. And then, somebody Tucker Carlson's in Russia, and, the mainstream corporate press is pulling their hair out over this potential interview with Putin. I think even some folks saying, like the EU is now investigating how to put sanctions on Tucker. Is it really this bad out there in the journalism world that you can't interview even an adversary?
Yeah, well, didn't Larry King go to Iran and interview the anti-Semitic Ayatollah or whatever? It just happens, okay? Tucker Carlson, I guess, is as good as anybody to interview Vladimir, but I don't know. It's just an overreaction. It's as if Putin is the Hitler of our day. Putin's not a good guy, but I'm not quite there to Hitler as far as you look at the supervillain hierarchy.
No, I completely agree with you. And I love the distinction, though. They're like, well, Tucker isn't a journalist. He's a propagandist. I'm like...
just tell the pound sand. That's what I would tell Tucker.
And I love it because I'm like, what a brilliant propaganda move by you to call him, make that distinction. There's so many layers to this. But I always appreciate your time, Jeff. If folks want to check out what you're writing about, thinking about, how can they do so?
Twitter.com/Jeff_Poor. It's kind of a one-stop shop there, landing place.
I always appreciate it, sir. Talk again next week.
Thanks again.
Again, folks, Jeff Poor there, host of the Jeff Poor Show and, editor-in-chief at 1819 News. We have Erica Thomas of 1819 News coming up. She's been doing a lot of local and state stories as well. And we'll be continuing to get into, the national news, including Nikki Haley loses the fake Nevada primary. This is the one I call it fake because Trump was not put on the ballot. Now, the Republican caucus there, the Republican Party are going to have their own caucus in Nevada, and Trump's expected to win that and actually get all the delegates going into the Republican convention from Nevada. Or Nevada? I don't know. From that den of sin of a state. But so Nikki Haley was expected, since Trump's not in the fake one that was had last night, that Nikki Haley's got this. Turns out, folks, Nikki Haley lost. She didn't lose to Ron DeSantis. She didn't lose to... Is Binkley still in the race? She didn't lose to Trump because Trump's not... Nikki Haley lost to none of the above. That was an option on the ballot. None of these candidates. None of the above. Nikki Haley lost. I think it was like none of the above got 60-something% of the vote. Wow. Just wow. Talk about a protest vote. You can take Trump off the ballot, but folks are still going to send you a message. That is amazing. And of course, again, Ronna McDaniel to step down later this month as head of the Republican National Committee. Ted Cruz now doubling down on calls for Mitch McConnell to resign. There are talks of one of the biggest sports deals in TV history. Biggest sports deal, say, in 30 years. It's a bunch of folks sort of joining up to create their own sports streaming platform. Big names you might expect. We can get into the basics of that. You know, the famed journalist Seymour Hersh. Sometimes he gets it right, sometimes he gets it wrong, I guess. But he's now claiming the CIA Director Burns, warned Zelensky to stop stealing so much U.S. foreign aid. You can steal a little bit, but you're stealing way too much, way too heavy-handed. That is from, again, the desk of Seymour Hersh. And, of course, we're going to continue with some state stories and silly stuff that's out there. For instance, NBC Peacock, the Peacock channel, they've announced a premiere for a Stormy Daniels documentary. Wonder how many middle-aged women are going to pop a Xanax and start drinking that Chardonnay to enjoy the Stormy Daniels documentary. I think that's the target audience.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Sweetheart?
Yeah?
I've been thinking, I'm tired of this house.
What? You want to move?
Yeah, but we'd have to do some updating, to get top dollar.
Updating really does make a lot of sense, especially when you're talking about lighting. That's where Crosby Electric comes in. They'll help you choose a stunning pendant fixture over your bathroom sink, dramatic flush mount lighting over your kitchen island, maybe some LED panels to backlight your countertops. Energy-saving LED lighting has really come down in price. Or how about a new ceiling fan that moves air more efficiently than fans built only 10 years ago? The bottom line, updating your lighting almost always delivers a full return on your investment.
Well, sweetheart, the house looks fabulous.
Yeah.
Guess I'll put out the for sale sign.
Wait.
What?
I don't want to move.
Find out how to turn your house into the home you'll never want to leave. Visit crosbyelectric.com or call 272-2085.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. 272-9228. But it is interesting, again, folks, that Nikki Haley was not able to best none of the above. Now, Haley apparently is campaigning in California today, like we're going to actually get there. But Politico had a pretty damning write-up of this Nevada loss. The headline, worse than you can imagine. Haley loses to none of these candidates in Nevada. None of the above defeats Nikki Haley. She suffered a major embarrassment in Nevada on Tuesday, finishing far behind none of these candidates in a presidential primary in which Trump didn't even compete. Haley's second-place drubbing to the disembodied alternative on the ballot came in an otherwise no-stakes primary that will not award delegates to the Republican Party's presidential nominating convention. Trump is expected to romp in the contest that will award delegates the party-run caucus later this week. For Haley's allies, Tuesday's setback, she has not yet won a single state in a presidential primary yet, was already the subject of heavy pre-spinning. Some Trump loyalists in the state had actively encouraged his supporters to mark none of these candidates to protest her. Trump's supporters will follow that man through the gates of hell, said Chuck Muth. M-U-T-H. Muth? Chuck Muth? Sounds like I have a lisp. He's a former Nevada Republican Party executive director, conservative activist and writer. He's the one who said Trump supporters will follow that man through the gates of hell. Haley's loss to none of these candidates is not unprecedented. It happened in a Democratic gubernatorial primary in 2014. But for Haley, the last major contender running against Trump in the GOP primary, it was a significant blow and a quick source of ridicule. Haley trailed by nearly 30 percentage points with just more than half of the estimated votes in. Trump's campaign brass immediately seized on Haley's poor showing in the Silver State, contending that her soldiering on in the primary was part of what Chris LaCivita, a top Trump advisor, called Haley's delusional tour. Yeah. I don't know why she's continuing to keep going. Well, they keep pumping money into her campaign. Who's they? The donor class. Somebody's making money off of this. But I don't think Nikki Haley is going to end up president or a nominee to be president anytime soon. Unless some very, very dirty tricks are played indeed. Again, 272-9228 if you want to join the show. First, before this break, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And they're at Pest Pro Services, well, Ashley and that great team, they're ready to help you with all your pest control problems. But you need to call up and ask them about a free termite inspection. And it's also a free estimate. But a free termite inspection, you know, it's been a lot of rainy, very wet of late. And that wetness, that can attract those termites. It could be, you know, you think you're all jam up and jelly tight, but there's actually some water still stuck in especially that crawl space. Or if you had a leak and you got the leak repaired, are you sure you got all the wetness out of there, all the moisture out of there? Again, termites are attracted to moisture. They love this stuff. So you want to get ahead of termites before they start causing damage. That's why you need to call Pest Pro Services for, again, a free home inspection and a free estimate. That number for Pest Pro Services, 265-9990. That's 9990, or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley and that great team there that Joey from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Conservative Justice Sarah Stewart has the experience to lead Alabama's courts. As a tough-on-crime judge, Sarah Stewart presided over hundreds of cases, giving tough sentences to the worst criminals. Republicans can trust Justice Sarah Stewart to defend the Constitution and protect our families. On March 5th, vote conservative Republican Sarah Stewart for Alabama Chief Justice. Paid for by Sarah Stewart Campaign, 2029B, Airport Boulevard, Mobile, Alabama, 36606.
I'm with Miss Dot at the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall. Dot, you have a big event coming up.
February is the biggest month we've had in years because this is our 30th anniversary, and it will be February the 24th from 9 until 6.
Anything special going to happen that day?
There will be surprises, giveaways. You can use gift certificates on that beautiful mahogany furniture that we've got, and we've got gorgeous mahogany. Some of it is signed to pieces, as a matter of fact. We've got the Tiffany style lamps. We've got chests and beds and tables and chairs, and it's just so much. I can't really get across to you how much we've got.
All right, the date and hours for your big anniversary sale?
February 24th, 9 until 6.
And give us those regular hours of operation.
Monday through Friday is 10 until 6. Saturday 9 to 6, and Sunday is 12:30 to 4:30.
That's the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, 425 Coliseum Boulevard.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
This is James Cole with Cole Plumbing, and I want to thank Blue Water Broadcasting. I have been advertising with them for several years, and they have brought me quality business. I really appreciate them.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street opened higher this morning in another week packed with corporate earnings. With little in the way of economic data releases this week, traders are mostly focused on earnings, which continue to roll in with mixed results. CVS Health rose 1.7% in pre-market trading after its adjusted profit and revenue beat Wall Street's targets. Snap tumbled 31% in off-hours trade after the social media platform's fourth quarter fell short of expectations. After today's closing bell, Disney will release its latest quarterly results. Also today, the Federal Reserve issues its latest snapshot of consumer borrowing, something economists have been quite concerned about. Coke has introduced a new flavor. Coca-Cola Spiced is the first new permanent offering in its North American portfolio in 3 years. It's said that drinkers will notice a hint of raspberry in this new flavor Coke. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Weather is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. I'm Johnny Adams, your Alabama personal injury attorney with the Johnny Adams Law Firm. Stay weather alert all day long with the Rich Thomas Weather Network.
Hi, everybody. Our weather's in cruise control, at least for a couple of more days. We're dry through Friday, and temperature's not bad for early February, with lots of sunshine today, high temperature in the lower 60s. Clouds at times tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 38. More sunshine tomorrow. I think we'll be in the low to mid 60s on Thursday, with clouds increasing Friday, high 71. Risk of showers late Friday night, but scattered showers and thunderstorms increasing in number on Saturday and Sunday. High temperatures over the weekend in the low 70s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
ASE Credit Union makes auto loans easy with rates as low as 4.75% APR. Apply online or visit your local branch today. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, as promised, we have right here on the phone line Erica Thomas of 1819 News. Erica, how are you this afternoon?
Howdy, Joey. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm surviving. Now, I want to begin with a simple question. What is a woman?
Well, that is the question of the decade, I think. We've all been hearing about What is a Woman, the documentary, and it seems simple to me. You know, it's biological female is a woman. And so now we have a lot of people that have been asked that question and can't answer it, but Eagle Forum of Alabama wants to answer it.
And they want the legislature to essentially answer it for the state.
Yes, they do. They set out their priorities a couple months ago, but just 2 days ago, they came out with this bulleted list of exactly what their priorities are and what they're going to speak with lawmakers about. And the number one thing on there was defining what a woman is. They want a bill that defines what a woman is based on the biological definition. And the purpose of this is to ensure that women are safe in their private spaces, such as bathrooms and lockers. And so during a talk that I had with them a couple of months ago, this was not something that they told me was going to be a priority. So this just came out this week. This is one of their priorities.
Well, I think it's a good one. It seems absurd that we have to go there, but when this should already be a definition in law. I'd imagine there is a definition of woman in law, but with all the competing stuff probably would come out of the courts. It's pretty good for the sake of locker rooms, bathrooms, all sorts of other venues to define what exactly is a woman so you don't get, some weirdness, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and especially I think about this in sports, and today is National Girls and Women in Sports Day. So I think about it a lot as it pertains to sports. I played softball in high school. We never won a game, but I played. We might have won a game if we had a male on our team, but that would just not be fair. Men are naturally stronger. And then I feel like the issue with the bathroom thing is you're opening up an opportunity for a man to dress as a woman and come in, and there's dangers there. And it just makes some women uncomfortable. So, maybe we just need separate bathrooms for people who aren't sure what they are. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems absurd, surreal. It's like we're having a bad dream that this is even a situation here, but sadly, I think that is the case. Now, shifting gears, you just did kind of a deep dive on the Alabama Sheriff's Association. I think it was a big meeting, their Winter Technology Conference. And so what sort of technology were they looking at? What sort of things are they excited to learn about that might help them in the job?
Yeah, they had the conference at the end of January. It was in Opelika, and all the sheriffs from all the counties were invited to come. And they did learn about some technologies. This is crime fighting tools, different types of, I don't want to say cameras because I'm not saying surveillance cameras, but there's different kind of like tag reader technology with block and those type of things. And all of these systems can tie in to each other. So these sheriffs could sign on to get be a part of the flock system. And then all of them kind of have a way to connect and help fight crime or catch people that might be going from county to county.
Okay, so it's just
so
a central database, essentially.
Yes, it's a tag reader system, and once someone is caught doing something, they can put them in the system, and then anytime that tag is read by one of those cameras, all law enforcement in the area is alerted, so they know exactly where they are. And I never really liked the idea of having cameras everywhere, but I have seen some of what Flock can do. One of the things it can do is you can search on a certain camera and say, I want to see a person with a black backpack, and it will go back in the database and show you every person with a black backpack. I even saw it one time, a guy sitting in a car had a black backpack, and that system showed that guy where he was, what time. I mean, it was impressive, very impressive technology, but kind of scary too at the same time.
Yeah, no, that is a little unnerving, and no, that's more than just a database. Yeah, that sounds some like machine learning AI tech going on there. But what other things were they kind of talking up, interested to learn about?
Some of the things that they learned on is threat assessment, how to recognize when there's a threat, 911 preparedness, new information on human trafficking, drug trafficking, which is an increased problem, and is expected to increase as a problem even more as we allow more illegals over the border. Gang activity, that's another thing that's expected to increase. And missing person cases and sexual assault response. Those are the topics that were touched on.
Well, and I like that I see here, too, that they are dealing with folks who may have autism, other sensory disabilities, that when you show up on the scene, sometimes it is the case that this person's got something going on that isn't, say, the norm, and you need to be trained
Yes.
and not respond in, say, a violent way, for instance.
Yes, for example, someone with autism, they may not respond the way that someone that doesn't have autism does. And if the law enforcement officers are unaware of what those signals are, things can get nasty pretty quick.
And
so it's very good that they're learning to recognize the signs of someone with a developmental disorder and then be able to handle that appropriately.
And now I heard you mention all the folks crossing the border. It looks like Alabama's going to get a lot of this incoming, not necessarily folks setting up shop, but there are going to be a lot of transient, say, migrants heading through the state, right?
Yes, I actually got to talk on the phone with a Border Patrol agent. He does public affairs for U.S. Customs and Border Protection. His name's Alan Regalado, and he was very, very honest with me. And I feel like this is one of the first times that we've seen a Border Patrol agent be this honest about what's going on. They are extremely overwhelmed. They are facing challenges they've never faced before. And Biden's administration, their border policy and this border bill that they're supposed to vote on today, I mean, it's just all making things so much worse for the Border Patrol. And while it's making it worse for them, it's also very, very dangerous for the people that are coming over here. They're being lost in the system because the system is just crunched right now.
And people are essentially getting court dates, 2-3 years out. Often, not
Right.
surprising people don't show up, but that means that's a lot of free time to live in America, and you'd even have papers that say, hey, I was already processed. My court date's in a year or two. Calm down, cops.
Yeah, just that whole process of how Border Patrol, makes contact, and then what they do next is they send them to ICE, and then that's when they get their court date. It's a very interesting look. This story on 1819 News is so detailed, and this Border Patrol agent was just super honest. And he did say for Alabama, he thinks that things are just going to increase. And mainly he believes that Alabama will see a lot of transient immigrants coming through to go to work in other states. Because, I mean, Alabama already has so many. I know just a couple of miles down the road from my house in Baldwin County, there is an encampment of people from Honduras. And they are living in what looks like third world country over there. I mean, there's shacks that they're living in, and the owner of the property is a construction company. And the only thing that leads me to believe is that this construction company owner is likely letting these people live there so that he can have cheap labor. And it's just really sad to see that and to see how people have to live once they do get over here. It's just the system's broken.
Yeah, and we'll see. But Alabama, like every other state in this nation, is not maybe Alaska, maybe Hawaii, but everybody's going to be experiencing this massive influx. Now, if we go further south of the border on our global maps, folks, I know you got them pulled up, or just look at your globe you have right there in your office if you're listening. Tell me, Erica, about this organization called Mountain Gateway, what they're all about, and what happened to them recently.
Yes, Mountain Gateway is a nonprofit out of Texas. The guy that started it is actually from Pinson, Alabama. And I spoke with him. What they do is they go and train pastors. They teach people, they disciple to make disciples, basically. And Britt Hancock, he is the guy that started Mountain Gateway, or Gateway Mountain. He is an amazing person. He loves the Lord. He wants to do all he can to just spread the love of God. And in return, he recently has been just bombarded with what happens to when you're in a communist country and you have a communist leader. So in Honduras, they arrested 11 pastors that work for Mountain Gateway. And this has been over the course of several months. And they're really not telling them why they're arresting them. They're not really explaining. They don't have documents on what their charges are. They've said that it was money laundering, but that's kind of just their MO. The real thing is it started with the Catholic Church a couple of years ago. They're really just trying to remove people from spreading any kind of Christian word. And the purpose is at first they allowed this to happen. You know, the nonprofit's been working with the Honduran government for years, since 2013, I believe, to make it official that they can operate in Honduras. But the problem came about when President Daniel Ortega decided that, well, these people are learning too much. They're kind of, you know, they're realizing that I am doing things I might not need to be doing, and they're starting to push back. So as soon as the Christians and the Catholics started pushing back against the government, all of a sudden these nonprofits and churches are all shut down, and the pastors are arrested, and it's been a horrible struggle.
Well, and you were saying Honduras, isn't it Nicaragua?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it is Nicaragua. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I said Honduras. I was thinking about the other folks. They do have different missions in several Latin American countries. So.
Okay.
But this is the Nicaraguan. I'm so sorry about that. But yeah, the pastors that got arrested haven't even been able to communicate with anyone. No one in their families, no one with Mountain Gateway. So there's just no telling what's going on behind these prison bars. Nobody knows how they're being treated. They're just extremely worried about their loved ones and these pastors.
Well, and it's a pretty detailed story you put together. Came out 2 days ago, folks. It's at 1819news.com. I'm sure if you just typed in Mountain Gateway, Erica Thomas, it would also just show up on a simple Google search. And I encourage folks to read it if they're interested, because we've just scratched the surface here.
Definitely. I mean, and people can do things. You know, you can pray for these people and hope that they get out of prison. You can also reach out to your senator and your representative and say, hey, did you know about this? We need to do something. Because we definitely need the U.S. to support these pastors and at least try to speak to the Nicaraguan government and get things in order.
Well, there you go. Well, Erica, I always appreciate the time. If folks want to follow your work, how can they do so?
Yeah, they can go to 1819news.com, post couple stories a day, and you can click on my name. But I also have some incredible coworkers that I like to tell y'all about every week. And this week they're covering the legislature like very intensely. So you can go there and see what's going on in Montgomery. They have detailed stories on all the bills that are being introduced and discussed. We're going to see a lot of stuff in the next couple of days. So I definitely recommend going to 1819news.com.
Well, I appreciate the time as always. We'll talk again next week.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Again, Erica Thomas of 1819 News, and she's right. The legislative session is on, and a lot of the reporters from 1819 are down there doing, I think, some great reporting. Y'all check it out. Again, 1819news.com. I got to hit a very quick break. Before too long, I think Eddie's going to be here. He had an errand to run at the beginning of the show here, but he should be here. Y'all stay tuned. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hey folks, this is Tammy Burkhalter at Prattville Farm Center, and did you know there's all kind of dogs that we can feed? Like sleeping dog, hot dog, creek dog, swimming dog, hunting dog, shaggy dog, lap dog, window dog, riding dog, hiding dogs, puppy dog, standing dog, hat dog, cozy dog, family dog, even a dancing dog, man. So come see us at 1154 South Memorial Drive in Prattville, and we can even feed your kitty cat too.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. And again, we are now live streaming the show. We're live streaming Joey Clark live on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe. That's Joey Clark live on YouTube, as well as on the X platform and on Facebook. You can find me, but YouTube is the place to go. Joey Clark live there. Now, a quick story before we hit our top of the hour break. This is sort of a medical breakthrough. It's one of those medical breakthroughs or stories that common sense has shown there might be something to it already. But there's nothing like a nostalgic song to transport you back to a special time and place. Now, in fact, I think I remember seeing a documentary where it's the guys in Queen, where they would always get in big fights over what would be the hit single, because they're all writers, and all of them wrote hit songs for the band. And yeah, it was arguments over money and royalties and all that, but it was more than that, because they realized when your song becomes that hit on the radio, especially at that time in the 70s, you're part of people's lives. You're part of that first date or that first kiss on the beach. You're part of, well, that great raucous night where that guitar solo is wailing in the background. Like, music is key and has been key to a lot of the generations still living here in the Western so-called free world. So it doesn't surprise that music might have an impact on keeping memories alive. And now a new study has shown that music could help protect those memories for a lifetime. Researchers at the University of Exeter discovered that people who engage in music over the course of their lives tend to have improved memory and better overall brain health as they age. The findings were published in the International Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry. Quote, "The main message here is that different ways of engaging with music throughout life could be linked to different benefits," said the lead researcher, Ann Corbett. This has implications for public health on the importance of including music in general education and of keeping it throughout life or revisiting in mid to late life. The scientists analyzed data for more than 1,100 people, 40 and older, who had not yet been diagnosed with dementia. They were all participants in the PROTECT study a long-running UK research initiative focused on brain health and dementia that's been running since 2015. The data for this particular study was collected. Thanks for that. But they reported, people reported their experiences for over 3 years, playing a musical instrument, singing, reading music, and listening to music. They also self-rated the level of their abilities. The participants, who were 83% female and had an average age of 67, also took an online cognitive test to gauge their memory and executive function. The participants who played a musical instrument were found to have higher cognitive skills and enhanced memory compared to those who did not. The piano was shown to have the biggest cognitive effect. The longer the person played, the greater the benefits. Those who regularly sang were also shown to have better brain health, the study found, but researchers noted that could also be a result of social factors. But I think there's something to this where you've seen the clips, I'm sure, folks, where it's somebody who is in the grip of dementia, of Alzheimer's, and they can't remember much about themselves or their life, but then they go and sit down at a piano, and they can remember that song they learned when they were 8. I think there's something to music, and it keeps you tethered to the world, and there's something beautiful about it when you sit down, especially when you're playing with other folks, and you're feeling what the other person's putting out and you're giving it back. There's something that you're connecting to there where you're more the vessel. It doesn't have to be, Mozart. It doesn't have to be Bach, Beethoven, or even Wagner, God forbid, in this day and age. But a little bit of music can go a long way. It was heartening to hear that study this morning. Again, Eddie should be here any moment now, folks. Any moment. But in the meantime, 272-9228, if you want to get in on the conversation, 272-9228. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected Hamas demands for a ceasefire and vowed to press ahead with Israel's military offensive in Gaza until achieving absolute victory. Netanyahu made the comment shortly after meeting with visiting Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Authorities say the locomotive of a cargo train has derailed in northern Colorado, spilling hundreds of gallons of diesel. The Loveland Fire Rescue Authority says the Great Western Railway locomotive did not tip over when it went off the rails early Wednesday at a switch in the tracks, but a fuel tank was punctured. Officials said no one was injured. The Dow had 204 points. The Nasdaq is up 146. This is SRN News.
Life insurance. What's your excuse for putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think your work coverage is enough? There's a lot of excuses for putting off life insurance, but one big reason why you shouldn't. If the unexpected were to happen to you, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' tuition, and all the other bills? In a time of grief, the last thing you would want is for your family to have to sell the house and struggle to survive financially. At Ethos, we could get you covered in just 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Rates can increase the longer you wait, so no more excuses. Take 10 minutes today and discover the modern way to get the life insurance coverage you need. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Hi, everybody. Our weather's in cruise control, at least for a couple of more days. We're dry through Friday, and temperature's not bad for early February, with lots of sunshine today, high temperature in the lower 60s. Clouds at times tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 38. More sunshine tomorrow. I think we'll be in the low to mid 60s on Thursday, with clouds increasing Friday, high 71. Risk of showers late Friday night, but scattered showers and thunderstorms increasing in number on Saturday and Sunday. High temperatures over the weekend in the low 70s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Governor Kay Ivey announced the awarding of more than $188 million to continue the expansion of high-speed internet access in rural Alabama. The grants were awarded to 12 internet providers to extend broadband services to underserved businesses and households in the state. Honda is recalling over 750,000 vehicles in the United States because a faulty sensor may cause the front passenger airbags to inadvertently inflate. The recall covers certain 2020 to 2022 Honda Pilot, Accord, Civic, HR-V, and Odyssey models. Owners will be notified beginning March 18th. A new conflict resolution program for Montgomery Public Schools was launched this week. The program will teach conflict resolution through communication skills, peer support, and parent engagement with the goal of preventing youth violence. State lawmakers allocated $200,000 to get the program started. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The Montgomery Performing Arts Center presents Samantha Fish featuring Jesse Dayton.
Your kiss is like a death wish. If she could, she would be still. But the story goes just like this.
Don't miss one of the most dynamic forces in the blues world today, Samantha Fish featuring Jesse Dayton, live Wednesday, February 14th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets now at the Impact Box Office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your market report. How is the real estate market and what does 2024 hold for us? Last year, over 4,700 homes sold and closed through realtors, and the average sales price was $245,000. People who have owned real estate over the last 2 to 3 years have profited by keeping their homes and now have more equity in their home than ever. The people who listed their homes with realtors were able to find ready and willing buyers that paid at or above their asking price. Mortgage companies and local builders have found ways to overcome higher rates with attractive programs that allow for low-cost refinancing when the rate drops. Some of the local mortgage companies have new programs that help buyers with low down payment programs, such as one program with 1% down or even less. If you haven't bought a house yet, now is the time. For all the information, call Bo Goodson at 221-2883 or the Goodson Group at 551-0225.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. You know, folks, I was giddy, excited, a little hot under the collar, because I thought, you know, I'll put it this way. It's like I was a teenager and Governor Kay Ivey was like my guardian or parent or something and says, Joey, we're going to get you a brand new car. And then they get you like an old Saturn that's about to have the wheels fall off. And you're like, thanks so much, Grandma. Well, that's how I kind of feel about all these promises of school choice and in this presentation.
Our next step now is to provide our parents, beginning with those most in need, education savings accounts, which will further us on our journey to become the most school choice friendly state in the nation.
So it is a car. It is a brand new car, but it ain't much of one. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too much a perfectionist here. Come on. Why are we taking baby steps? Why are we going low and slow? And we need to be high steppers when it comes to education. Let's go to the phones, talk to Papa B. How you doing, sir?
Ain't no stepper like a high stepper, baby. So what you got against Wagner? Entry of the gods into Valhalla? Come on now.
I mean, he inspired Nietzsche, and then Nietzsche, was misread by a lot of Nazis, especially his sister, that bat crap crazy. You know what I'm talking about. No, actually, I would love to see the full ring cycle one time in my life. I mean, I hear that stuff is magnificent.
Well, we've heard bits and pieces of it here and there throughout the years in movies and such. So, we get the general idea, I'm sure. But anyway, yesterday I used a bad example of Democrats messing around in primaries. I mentioned it was Doug Jones. It was actually, the example I was trying to come up with was Kay Ivey and her last run for office, where, the Democrats interfered in the Republican primary. And basically, that's the reason we have Kay Ivey, in my humble opinion.
Well, and, that, Jeff Poore was saying she doesn't do a lot of media. That's why the state of the state's important. Just hearing that 24-second clip, I get why she doesn't do a lot of media. I'm just going to be blunt. She doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah, she really doesn't. Not only that, but what she has to say is, it's just depressing, actually. Yeah, the school choice, whose choice? Their choice. Her choice. Not my choice. Not the parents' choice. It's school choice, all right, but not your choice. It's our choice. But anyway, they say that they used to say football is a game of inches, and I would say that politics is a game of snitches, because you got all kinds of little creepy little things that people do just to gain a little bit of that advantage. The latest one that I saw was the Republican. Apparently, this is the way I read it, Joe. You can tell me. The Republican Party was basically ready just to go ahead and, just give Trump the nomination. Just by whatever means, they had. Now, I don't know, did you hear that? I think that's what they were trying to get across. That, we just don't need all this primary. We'll just go ahead and give it to Trump.
Yeah, after Iowa, and then especially after New Hampshire, it became kind of clear this guy's going to be the nominee.
Yeah. And so, although, maybe that makes a little bit of common sense, but, Trump, I think, played it right because he said, no, let's go ahead and go through the whole thing because he wants an exclamation point.
Right.
On, his nomination. And not just a little, couple of periods or question mark or whatever.
Well, when Nikki Haley loses to none of the above, yeah, it's bad. And don't tip me, by the way. I would love to see none of the above on the presidential ballot. I bet it could win.
May have a chance this time, no doubt. But anyway, all I'm trying to say is every little bitty thing, because I think that's what they were trying to do. I think they were trying to rob him of, a triumphal march type of victory for the Republican nomination. And see, it's just little things like that. And, maybe some people don't think about it, but really and truly, it makes a difference. He needs to have that triumphal march moment, I think.
Well, and I thought you were going to bring up this deal that's dead on arrival with immigration and the border and Ukraine and Israel. And, I look at it, and yesterday we were saying that's a big steaming pile of crap.
Yeah.
Big old pile of dung. But actually, from, I think, a Washington, D.C. establishment perspective, it's solid gold, baby. Why?
Yeah.
Because it was designed to fail, and then it gives everybody their respective talking points, saying the other side's a bunch of hypocrites and don't want to vote on the thing right into election year. It's amazing how they do this. They put all this stuff to get us all riled up, and then it's just you're right. There's all these little knocks and maneuvers and moves being done every turn. You got to look in between the lines, and it's just
you do. And well, not only that, but had it gone ahead, succeeded, it would have turned the immigration world upside down, in our country. It would, it would just gone ahead and sped things up, basically. But anyway, yeah, you're right. You just kind of can't trust them for a minute. You got to really be on top of things and watch them microscopically almost to see what they're doing. Anyway, that's all I got to say. I appreciate you letting me get on here and talk a little bit. Okay?
Appreciate it, Papa B. Really do.
I bet. Thanks.
272-9228. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Red Top, and Eddie Bader should be walking in any moment.
Yeah, I'm seeing him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we were just at the store. I wonder if your ears are burning because me and Eddie were talking about you when I saw him at the store. So your ears are burning, that's why.
Okay. Well, I understand it's not that other thing. Good.
Yeah, yes. And, damn, Joey, I go to SpaceX News this morning, and stunning revelation. The Defense Department has decided it wants to use Starship for very specialized cargo, quote-unquote, missions for the Air Force. And that really surprised me because up till now, he has had nothing to do, tried to have nothing to do with weaponry in the Defense Department.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like he is being forced to do it.
Yeah, when it was already getting going with Starlink, a lot of those Starlink satellites are dedicated to the Pentagon.
Yes. So, which still, and above that, it even surprised me because he hadn't even got the damn thing in the orbit yet. He's gotten real close, and they're saying it's going to test again later this month. Now, I've been hearing that for the past 3 months. But right now, SpaceX is only hope to land it on the moon. So that's, but I'm surprised, and I'm surprised or I'm not surprised that Elon Musk he's going to meet the pressure. He's going to meet the pressure. And one other thing, I'm kind of spooked by nobody being in the race for Donald Trump. This way, if he gets convicted, the Republicans have nobody to run. I'm starting to smell a rat, Joey.
Yeah, it's possible this was the plan all along, but I think it's kind of like we know what they're going to do, they know what we're going to do, and it's sort of like you hit the goal line, let's see who's got the better push.
Wow, yeah, but I'm spooked by having no other candidates but him. It makes a crooked election very attractive, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Roll Tide, go Trump. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate your Red Top. Look who's here, folks. Eddie's here.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Pretty good. I just ran into Red Top on the way over here.
That's what he was saying.
Another pleasurable encounter.
No, was it? Was it a good time?
Yeah. I love Red Top.
He said very nice things about you.
Red Top's a great guy. I like seeing him in the wild.
Yeah. So everything going all right in your world?
Yeah, I had to show a few houses. Daddy had to go to work. Sorry.
Please don't refer to yourself as daddy.
Daddy had to
in my brain. Please don't. Not today. I'm still not 100%. And even though I didn't have nausea problems in my sickness, I'm starting to feel them. The more you say daddy.
Speaking of that, I think I'm fighting off what you brought in.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Got the Dayquil and NyQuil duking it all out in my system right now.
It's making the rounds.
Yeah.
Now, did you see that Ronna McDaniel's going to step down? Finally. Our boy Vivek called it.
Mark sent me a text this morning about that.
He's a good kid.
Yeah. Yep.
He's not
Sent
really
me
a kid, but I like calling him
He
a
sent me a
kid.
text and said, "Hey, did you know?" I did not know. He's the one who made me aware of it. I was very glad to see that. But is Vivek getting much credit for calling that? Or is it kind of
Those
just-
who know, but no, it's more like, well, this is a decision the
Yeah, but
RNC's
of course.
made, and
Now,
yeah.
what about his replacement? I heard something about McCarthy.
McCarthy? Well, I saw Matt Gaetz suggested that, saying, Kevin's great at fundraising, and there's nowhere near policy as head of the RNC, so you might as well pick
That's
him.
the one I saw.
Matt Gaetz. Yeah, I go back and forth on him. One person, now the New York Times is saying the person they're looking at is a guy named Michael Watley.
Michael Watley.
I was like, is that like Lord of the Dance?
Yeah, I'm very unfamiliar with that.
But, yeah. Mr. Trump apparently likes Mr. Watley for one overwhelming reason, according to people who have discussed him with the former president. He is a stop the steal guy, as one of the people described him. He endorses Mr. Trump's, again, I'm reading from the New York Times, folks, false claims about mass voter fraud. And Mr. Trump believes he did a good job delivering North Carolina, a 2020 swing state, to him. No, yeah, Watley makes sense from the little bit we know. But yeah, you have to be able to run a massive organization. You have to be able to, of course, work with the donor class. That's a big part of what
gotta be
Washington, D.C. is all about. But we'll see.
This kind of reminds me of like a re-education camp or something. You think you know, and then you have to go hang out with the donor class, and you're like, and they tell you what you really need.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find another story just kind of as a nice little bookend to this segment.
Yeah.
And I think I found one.
Oh, boy.
You remember how the Nord Stream pipeline was blown up?
I don't know how it was done, but yes.
But it was blown up?
Yes.
Like it was a huge ecological disaster.
I think a whale bumped it.
Huge economic disaster.
I think a whale bumped it when it was down there.
Well, we got an outside party to come in, the nation of Sweden.
Oh, Sweden?
Sweden.
Yeah.
And Sweden has done a extensive preliminary investigation into the Nord Stream blast.
Oh, okay.
But then they found, after thorough investigation, at least on a preliminary basis, they lack jurisdiction to continue.
Somebody told them they can't even look at it anymore?
As the incident occurred in international waters and involved no Swedish nationals. So Sweden, thank you, but no thank you, get out of here. So they end their probe into the Nord Stream bombings, and even though the investigation's ended, they have no verdict. They couldn't figure out who did it. And when I saw this and heard this, I'm like, well, Sweden, welcome to NATO.
Yep.
Good job on the cover-up.
Good job. I see nothing.
What do you make of all this wailing and gnashing of teeth over Tucker Carlson about to interview Putin?
I think I read a quote last night, or I don't know. I saw a bunch of stuff on it. But one of the guys said, and it was very important, he said, we only here in the U.S. see Putin as what we're told Putin is by this administration. He said, now, Tucker Carlson going over to Russia and doing this, we're only going to see it from their point of view. But at least we get to see another side. I mean, honestly, Joey, right now, all we see is one side. And for somebody like me that kind of went down some YouTube rabbit holes on things that we supposedly have done in Russia, I kind of not buying into it. They seem to be sanctions and all this stuff. They seem to be doing just fine. You know, we threatened them by closing that McDonald's. Guess what? 2 days later, they opened it up. It's called Ruski McDonald's, and it's doing more than ever before.
Well, we'll see. But it's...
I'm telling you, man, their stores that they go into, because they're under all these sanctions, I thought would be nothing in the stores. They got better selections than we do, Joey.
But, Eddie, we have to be good Americans and do what the authorities in America say we should do. We have to believe legitimate, prestigious sources, and we need to believe the government.
I used to, and I am a good American, and I think you are too, and I think most of us are. But being a good American also is questioning those who keep cramming BS down your throat at some point. You have to stop and question.
Yeah.
That's a good American.
But of course, now the EU is opening up investigations into ways how they could sanction Tucker Carlson for doing this trip and for doing this interview.
Really?
Yeah.
So we're not allowed to. So the EU has control over an American citizen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and I'm willing to believe that in war everybody's lying. But it's almost like the U.S., but especially the EU, is now saying, hey, you're only allowed to tell our people the lies we want them to hear. Don't let them hear other lies. They might get a little confused.
Who needs Eurotrash anyway, Joey? And the EU is Eurotrash.
You know you like some of that dance music, especially in the saxophone.
I'm not a fan.
You don't you.
I mean,
you
maybe
get
if I
all
got-
hopped up on some NyQuil, the dog's next.
Maybe if I got some roller skates on, you might see me start to wiggle a little
Right.
bit.
Come on, man. 30 bush lights in, hanging out on the boat, still docked.
You know
Still
how,
docked.
You know how we talked about a while back we were going to buy sweatsuits?
Oh, yeah.
I was this close, dude. When I was in North Carolina, they had the ugly Russian ones that we
Yeah.
always see.
Yeah, but look at you.
No, Joey, I
at least
just
you
couldn't
look
get-
like Mr. Beast. My Pollock face.
Dude, I couldn't get our size. Otherwise, we would have had them.
Like we're too fat?
No, they're long and short. We just,
Oh,
Joey,
yeah.
but I mean, they were the typical. We would have looked like we just stepped off the Russian boat, buddy. Those kind of tracksuits that squish when you walk.
I'll just say the Europeans are good at the Eurovision stuff, but other than that, like that bearded lady, what a singer.
That's like the guy that was at the Build-A-Bear.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, well, men, you need to listen up because, guys, two things start to affect most men as we mature. Erectile dysfunction.
Yep.
It's true. And low testosterone. And it's nothing to deny, put off, or be ashamed about. And it's not something to wait to get fixed. Yeah, guys hate going to the doctor. I do.
We all do.
We admit it. But Montgomery Men's Health was created to take care of guys just like us. So if you're lacking motivation, energy, always tired, perhaps seeing unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, even a decreased sex drive.
Ooh, Joey. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, Daddy doesn't like that.
Not at all.
See, I shouldn't say that either. Or maybe you feel like you're just walking through life in a fog. Knowing whether you have low T is huge to combating some of these issues. Did you know that as you age, testosterone and PSA check, that should be part of your annual men's health routine? And urologists are even now suggesting that men start getting their testosterone checked at the age of 18. I didn't know that until I talked to Montgomery Men's Health. A lot of guys suffer from low T and sometimes don't even realize it. But low T affects quality of life big time. So the providers at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And if you do have low T, they have treatments that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, Joey.
None at all. You can actually book the same day that you call. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and hit your goals this year. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. And be sure to tell them you heard about them here on the radio from Joey and Eddie. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hey there, River Region area. Dawson Electric hopes you had an amazing Christmas and a fantastic New Year. As we step into 2024, it's time to tackle those resolutions and make sure your home or business is in tip-top shape. And for all your electrical needs, there's one name you can trust, Dawson Electric. Whether you're planning a remodel, constructing a new home, or require service for your existing electrical systems, Dawson Electric has got you covered. Need emergency generators installed? Looking to enhance your outdoor space with stunning landscape lighting? Dawson Electric is the answer. We do it all for homes and commercial spaces alike. For more information, you can find us on Facebook. Search for Dawson Electric Company, LLC. Hit the like button and stay connected with us. We're happy to speak with you at any time. Just call 334-270-8024. Say it with me. That's 334-270-8024. For all your electrical service needs for home or business, call us at Dawson Electric. Dawson Electric, lighting up your world.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. He's Eddie.
What's up, Eddie? So what's up, Eddie?
How you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, yeah. Did we get any big fallout and response from that interview yesterday?
Got a lot of messages yesterday. I think our YouTube's kind of exploded a little bit yesterday.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm. And had a lot of people reach out looking for clarity and clarification and where could they find the story at, things like that.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, then the write-up Craig Munger did at 1819 News last week, still pretty good.
Definitely.
And my big question is, do folks believe her?
The people that reached out to me yesterday, and granted it was a few of the thousands that listened, they found her to be very believable.
I'll put it this way, especially after having slept on it, and then, having to cut the video, look at the interview again. Yeah. With that, when you're in the middle of an interview, folks, sometimes
you get
it's not the same thing as just listening.
Right.
And so going back, I think she told us a lot of true things.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm not getting the whole story.
Oh, there's something missing?
Yes. That's my takeaway and where I'm at on this.
Maybe the case.
I feel like I didn't get a good enough origin, and maybe it was the attorney was interrupting on purpose. Let's just put it that way. But, the story will probably continue. I don't think it's going away anytime soon. In 272-9228, who we got here?
We got Simpler Days.
Hey, Simpler Days, how you doing?
Pretty good. Good job on the interview yesterday.
Thank you.
Joey, when you step in a pile of dog mess and you sling it off, you still got the stink on your foot.
Mm. You're breaking up, kind sir. You there? Simpler Days, you there? Call back.
Call back, Simpler Days.
Let's go to Sam. Hey, Sam.
What's happening, Sam?
Hey, gentlemen. Listen, over the weekend, I checked out some of Tucker's podcasts.
Oh?
A couple of them. Yeah. Good stuff, of course. And Tucker, he doesn't waste a lot of words with it. But he had on a Weinstein guy, and I just wanted to throw this in there. The biggest thing I'm hearing about that it disturbs me is the talk about what the Chinese are doing in Panama. And he had on a guest that had traveled down to Panama and gave first his eyewitness testimony about the camp they've set up and the construction they're doing. And I just, why in the world? I felt I had to throw that. Anyway, I'm hearing it. 60 Minutes mentioned it. There's several places I'm hearing about it. People are mentioning it, what are the Chinese doing in Panama. And it, I don't want to use the word nefarious, but looks like they're up to no good. How about that?
What are they
building
doing
a
down
camp.
there, Sam? I mean, what are they reporting?
they're taking people. People are showing up Chinese migrants.
Yeah.
People Chinese from. You're getting a variety of people, variety of background. But I'm starting to mumble. I'm sorry. They've built a camp. The Chinese don't screw around. They're not doing a lot of walking. They come in, they get processed.
Do you think? Do you think the Chinese want that canal?
Oh, they have the Panama Canal. I remember when they bought the Panama Canal. It was right before I left down there. But I'm just they're doing the Darien Gap. That was what was one thing. They're improving the passage of the Darien Gap, but I'm just
watch your mouth, all right? Family show.
Yes, sir. Okay, I've gone on a little longer than I anticipated, but it's good to talk to y'all. But this is the disturbing thing I heard from Chucker over the weekend. I heard some good podcasts, but
he is putting out great stuff. That one with Brett Weinstein is fantastic. Really,
yes, the Chinese invasion is something we'll hear more about. But I'm starting to hear from different sources. People are catching on about it.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've done my 2 cents. And that he talked about Ozempic. I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah, I've heard some negative things there, Sammy.
All that will come out. Okay. Hey guys, listen, let me off here, but I thought that was important. I wanted to. Evil is afoot. Invasion is current. All right.
Later.
See you, Sammy.
272-9228. I think we got Simpler Days back. You were talking about stepping on a dog turd.
Yes. Can you hear me now, Joey?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. When you step on it, you can sling it off your foot, but you still got the stink, and people kind of move away from you because of the smell. And I think in reference to that interview yesterday, that's maybe where we are. The mayor stepped in it when he hired him, knowing that he had baggage. So now what he needs to do is sling it off. And he can do that gracefully by turning that matter over to an independent investigative agency, say the Attorney General's office, and let them investigate it, or another law enforcement agency, and let the chips fall where they may, and he can say, look, whatever y'all feel I did in this matter, here's what they found, and I'm removing myself from it, and then take the appropriate action. But if he keeps on going down the road he's going to take the whole ship down with him.
Yeah. Well, and I keep hearing, and again, I'm not doing this too much behind the scenes stuff. The counter rumor mill is that she had her own history and a pattern of this. I'm like, well, maybe so. If y'all can show it to me. But that doesn't make it any better if what she said is true in regards to the chief. So it's just a big mess, whatever angle you're looking at. And then you look at how many folks are now. Again, I said this 2 weeks ago. I don't go seek out this information.
No, you're the last one.
Right. And so if this stuff's getting to me, it means there is a massive problem, especially the lower ranks. Mm-hmm. And that when you get that sort of problem, it's clearly a problem of leadership for whatever reason. I don't know what's the failing. We're starting to get an idea.
Well, when everything's going well, you can stand some heat.
Right.
But when you got 75 homicides, when you got just as many homicides as the city of Seattle, which is about 3 times larger, then you got a problem, and you need to make sure that you're squeaky clean. And whether she has baggage or not, we know he has baggage from New Orleans. And this was not a sergeant, a lieutenant, a captain, a major. This is the chief of police. And the mayor's going to have to take another course of action, or he's going to have bigger problems. Y'all have a good day.
Appreciate you. Simpler Days, folks. Always enjoy his phone calls. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. This part of News and Views brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage.
Hey, Joey, look at my shirt.
Yeah, it says Alabama Home Mortgage. I got a shirt like that, but it's lime green.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yours is what, turquoise?
I'm going to go with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And how many deals would you guesstimate you have closed with them?
Less than 50, more than 20.
Wow.
I would like to break a record. I would like to do 50 deals with them. In fact, if I do 50 deals with them, I'll take you and I won't say every. Can't say it.
Yeah, watch yourself.
I'll take you and Madeline and her family to Jamaica. But I got to have 50 deals.
Got to hit 50.
Got to hit 50.
Let's just say, even before they were a sponsor, Eddie knew them.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of realtors in the area know them.
They
A lot
know
of
them well.
now homeowners know them. A lot of folks know Alabama Home Mortgage and how good they are, how they sit down, get to know you, get to understand why you might be trying to buy a home, why you might be refinancing a home. And they're always up to date on the latest, especially if you're a veteran with the VA home loan programs. And they're always looking for creative ways to help folks. Like just now, last week, they announced this new program they have about student loans.
Yes.
Pardon me. Student loans.
It's a really good program, Joey. I can tell you none of the banks that I know of offer that.
It's a rate refinance. So the long and short is if you have student loans that you've been having trouble with and you have equity built up in your home, ask Alabama Home Mortgage about refinancing. They can set you up right. Or again, whether you're looking to buy a home, whether you're a first-time buyer or not, these are great local folks that'll sit down, get to know you, walk you with you every step of the way from pre-approval all the way to closing day. They really can do it all there at Alabama Home Mortgage. That number, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
I'm with Miss Dot at the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall. Dot, you have a big event coming up.
February is the biggest month we've had in years because this is our 30th anniversary, and it will be February the 24th from 9 until 6.
Anything special going to happen that day?
There will be surprises, giveaways. You can use gift certificates on that beautiful mahogany furniture that we've got, and we've got gorgeous mahogany. Some of it is signed pieces, as a matter of fact. We've got the Tiffany style lamps. We've got chests and beds and tables and chairs. And it's just so much. I can't really get across to you how much we've got.
All right, the date and hours for your big anniversary sale.
February 24th, 9 until 6.
And give us those regular hours of operation.
Monday through Friday is 10 until 6. Saturday 9 to 6, and Sunday is 12:30 to 4:30.
That's the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, 425 Coliseum Boulevard.
Conservative Justice Sarah Stewart has the experience to lead Alabama's courts. As a tough-on-crime judge, Sarah Stewart presided over hundreds of cases, giving tough sentences to the worst criminals. Republicans can trust Justice Sarah Stewart to defend the Constitution and protect our families. On March 5th, vote conservative Republican Sarah Stewart for Alabama Chief Justice. Paid for by Sarah Stewart Campaign, 2029B, Airport Boulevard, Mobile, Alabama, 36606.
If you want to save money on your toner, it's easier than your ABCs. Cartridge World's online store, the letter C, worldmontgomery.com. Save money on gas and your toner at Cartridge World's online location. Just go to the letter C, worldmontgomery.com, or call 819-8797.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The Ridge Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Alabama's personal injury attorney, me, Johnny Adams of the Johnny Adams Law Firm. Stay weather alert, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Our weather's in cruise control, at least for a couple of more days. We're dry through Friday, and temperature's not bad for early February, with lots of sunshine today, high temperature in the lower 60s. Clouds at times tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 38. More sunshine tomorrow. I think we'll be in the low to mid 60s on Thursday, with clouds increasing Friday, high 71. Risk of showers late Friday night, but scattered showers and thunderstorms increasing in number on Saturday and Sunday. High temperatures over the weekend in the low 70s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Rev things up in 2024 with Kubota and Capital Tractor. From the #1 rated compact tractor to the #1 selling compact excavator and more, we're powering Alabama. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey, he's Eddie. And switching gears here a little bit, Eddie.
Yeah.
You know the country of Chile?
Yes.
Chile?
Yes. I thought it was a beautiful country.
Yeah,
I've seen some of the
absolutely.
women there. Fabulous.
Oh, yeah. I think you would do well there.
I think I would.
I think you
Well,
did
I'm not allowed
well
to go there.
in Jamaica. I think you did well in Argentina, even.
Argentina.
When you don't like zoo animal?
Argentina and me, we got a history.
Well, Chile did a thing where they fielded an all-female, all-women team at the UAE SWAT Challenge of 2024.
SWAT Challenge?
Yeah, it's like you bring your best cops, SWAT cops, and
Oh, really?
we compete.
Well, I'm down with this.
Well, they had such high hopes. Like, here's one of the headlines. Trailblazing Chilean women set to shine at the UAE SWAT Challenge 2024. The Chilean PDI was a pioneer in promoting women's participation in the UAE SWAT Challenge. They introduced their first female participant in 2020 within the Chilean men's team, paving the way for a more substantial involvement in subsequent years and forming the current all-women's team. Historic.
So they had an option. They could do men or women, and they chose to do all women.
Yeah, but apparently it didn't go very well.
I guess.
Yeah, it didn't go very well at all. Like they didn't get much of a chance to succeed.
What kind of skills did they need to have, Joey?
Here, let me see if I can pull up the clip here. It explains it better than I think I ever could. Again, this is Chile, and they're sending this all-female SWAT team. And, well, there are high hopes, as you were seeing there in these headlines. I mean, very high hopes indeed. And well,
they're going to be guys. Trying to be but
right.
I am being an obvious person, and obviously it's going to be a little difficult for them.
So here it is. Here's kind of just a sample of what was going on here.
Vamos.
They're sprinting.
Really?
Yeah, that looks like a full clip run to me.
You ain't never been chased by the cops, have you?
No, not a full, well, I hadn't gone full clip in years, man. You want me to pull a hammy?
I'm telling you, if that's a cop chasing somebody or you're getting chased by a cop, that person's going way too slow.
Wait, it sounds like you just don't like women.
Oh, I love women.
Well, let's keep watching.
Okay.
5 ladies teams involved in the UAE SWAT Challenge this year.
Now they're doing a zip line, it looks like.
Belarus.
Like the YMCA.
Oh, no.
Chile.
They're... Oh, no.
from the Emirates.
They're stuck. They didn't get enough momentum jumping on the zip line, and so they're running into each other, and it stopped everybody else's momentum. Well, keep going, ladies.
Joey, I got to be honest.
Oh, the zip line's going backwards. No.
It looks a little Keystone Cop-ish at this point.
Today. And
now, in their defense, it's not because they're women that this happened.
No, but folks, what we're laughing at is, okay, they did the sprinting part.
In full uniform,
and,
too,
and
by the
they
way.
had to jump up on a platform that then you grab just simple handlebars, zip line across water. One of them, it looks like, didn't get enough momentum, so they stopped like halfway through. All the others kept going. They're on the zip line, running to the back of them.
They domino effect.
They don't have enough momentum to where they're stuck.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle, right over the pool.
well, they are stuck in the middle of that zip line.
I love the commentary.
I know, he's like,
in the ice bath, you have to go back to the beginning of the zip line and do it again.
You might as well fall.
You got to let go at some point. You're not going to move.
Of, 3 team members stranded.
Maybe if the back girls started kicking the front girls, they would move.
Right.
Of that ice bath. Thankfully, the water.
Oh, there we go.
Get
Back.
Oh, earlier on this morning.
So she ran around and came back. Now everyone is stuck.
Now, if you're in the middle of a SWAT situation, don't you want that team showing up to help you out?
Yes, Joey, I do.
Because you love women.
I love women, especially if I'm the guy that's run from the cops. If I could I have that particular case of women chase me? Please.
That's what Daddy likes.
That's what Daddy likes.
Oh, God, that's
Keep
gross.
them in uniform, too.
I'm trying to warm up to you calling yourself Daddy, but it's even in a joke, it kind of makes me want to hurl. I wonder, does this get any better? I'm going to skip ahead a little.
Considerable.
Okay, they've gone back to the beginning of the zip line, folks. No, it didn't go well. It got completely stopped. Wow. Okay, well, good job, ladies.
So did they end up getting, like they have trophies and all? Could we see where the people...
Well, here, let's keep going with the video.
Their top 20.
It's not about the time. Just don't give up.
There you go. Persevere.
Isn't that something you tell a 5-year-old? It's not about the time.
Joey,
it's how you play the game.
Right. They're going to get trophies anyway, Joey.
Okay, there's the speed you need.
There you go.
There it is. All right, time for you. Get up on your tippy toes. Get across that line, lady. Push off there. Yep.
2 more members to come.
Good Lord, what's taking so long?
Come on. Come on. She got it.
Well, she should.
1 more. Uno más.
Uno más.
Uno más. Uno más.
Are we in a Taco Bell commercial now?
Oh, wow.
Vamos, uno más. Yay!
I think that was just the second obstacle, by the way.
Yeah.
A pretty long course.
Now they're off to get their nails did.
I'm sure there are plenty of women's teams that could have completed that just fine.
Now, honestly,
but that's miserable.
Have you ever had an encounter with a female police officer? Like
Encounter?
pulled over or anything like that?
No.
I have.
It's always been fellas.
I have, and I got to be honest. They've always been a lot more polite than their counterparts. And I'm saying that in all seriously. They don't. I don't feel near as threatened. I don't feel.
Yeah.
They're just like, hey, dummy, you know what you were doing. Yeah, that's me. You know, here's your ticket. Okay, thanks. But a lot of times with the male officers, the attitude gets there before they do. And I have to return attitude.
But I just have to admit that that story made me laugh very, very hard.
Because you hate women.
That's why I'm not voting for Nikki Haley.
That's not. I hope to God that's not the only reason you're not voting for Nikki Haley, because I love what happened in Nevada.
The none of the above.
I think all elections should be done that way, and if none of the above wins, then you're all out.
I would always vote none of the above.
I think there would be a certain segment of society that would, and that's fine. But I like the idea of I don't like either two candidates, so we got to start over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're doing we're a company and we're hiring and we get 10 candidates and we don't like any of them, we don't have to hire one of them. We go, hey, appreciate your effort. We're going to keep searching. How you get the best, folks?
272-9228. Let's hit this break. Hopefully we'll have Michael Cohen on the other side.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Prattville Carpet is a family-owned flooring store that prides itself on personal service, quality products, and guaranteed installation. From beautiful hardwood floors to luxurious smart strand carpet, Prattville Carpet has you covered. Call, come by, or online at prattvillecarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368.
an equal housing lender.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hey, folks, we're on the stream. We're still watching this amazing video.
Girl power.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than getting stuck on a zip line, man. I'll tell you what.
But here's the thing, dude. You're in that situation, all right, and let's say this is not a training exercise, it's a serious deal. You don't hang on the zip line. You drop, you reorganize, and you keep moving forward. You don't just sit there and go, hey, what are we doing?
I know we might not have a lot of friends at MPD right now, but if you're a cop, give us a call. And has there ever been a time in the middle of an actual chase that you've had to run a zip line? 272-922.
Batman all of a sudden?
That's what I mean.
Never thought about that, Joey.
Let's go to Michael Cohen. Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. How you doing today, Michael?
Better than some here.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Not good for the Chilean women's SWAT team. I didn't even know that was a thing. And now I do, and I'm happy I do.
I thought the Chileans was all about the sea bass.
Thank you.
It is good.
Yes.
It's
I do
very
like
flavorful. It is very tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I wanted to watch, say, some SWAT games, UAE SWAT games, or CrossFit, or whatever I'm watching, you got some really big TVs, right?
Yes, sir. So we've got the Samsung QLEDs, we've got the Sony. I actually have a Samsung 98-inch.
Oh, wow.
In stock. So, I mean, that would fill up most people's wall.
That'd be the wall.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. And if you need bigger, I mean, we can go with a projector and a nice big screen. But the Samsung QLEDs do an excellent job. Sony also goes up to 98 inches. I have many of their 85s, their 75s, 65s all in stock, ready for a Super Bowl party.
That's right.
And then you have TVs for folks who want to get that outdoor setup going that are kind of resistant to that glare. They're meant for outside.
That's right. The Samsung makes a terrace model, and it's engineered to be outside. It's smart. It's 4K. They make two levels in some of the sizes. One is what they call a partial shade, and the other one is called a full sun. So it's bright enough so that you can still have a picture even in the sunlight. But most of our customers, they have them on a nice covered patio or porch, and the partial shade does a fantastic job for them. Still way brighter than your regular home TV.
Well, there you go, folks. And you can always check out these products, what we just talked about, the TVs, and much more at thinkcohens.com, or call them at 277-8890. But I encourage you, stop by the showroom. They're 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. Talk to Michael. Get to know him and his team. And once you see these products in person, you're going to see what all the rage is about. Really great
That's
stuff.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And
come on by. Come see us. We're Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. 9 to 4 on Saturdays, and we just want you to come by and just ask us some questions and tell us what your needs are, and let us try to ask you some questions and help you decide on the right choice.
Well, I appreciate your time as always, and without giving too much away, I'll see you in the morning.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, doing a little thing tomorrow.
Don't put it out there and just as a teaser there.
Well, I don't have to tell the audience everything.
Okay.
Just seeing, did the Chilean SWAT team finally get across?
Did they ever make it?
Did they finally get across that zip line?
And not only that, how many other obstacles might be in their way?
I know. But, Joe Biden's not doing the usual what presidents do Super Bowl thing.
He doesn't have to.
Big old Super Bowl interview. Yeah, it just broke that he's not going to be charged in his documents case.
Yeah.
He just had all this stuff all over the place, but he didn't mean anything by it. Trump had that top super secret, serial stuff,
right?
Like the nuke plans.
Right.
Plans to nuke everything. Well, what we do when we get nuked.
Right. It kills me because I used to think Billy Clinton was the slickest president ever, the most bulletproof president. And at this point, it's just nauseating.
No, it's this guy, but he's apparently not doing the Super Bowl interview, Trump said, "I'll do it." CBS said, "No, thanks." And, and people were speculating, why wouldn't Biden want to do this? Well, how about this?
There is some movement, and I don't want to, well, maybe choose my words. There's some movement. There's been a response from there's been a response from the opposition, but yes, I'm sorry, from Hamas, but it seems to be a little over the top. We're not sure where it is. There's a continuing negotiation right now.
Too much static in the earpiece.
Yeah, and I'm not even making a joke out of that. That's just awful.
Too much static in the earpiece there. He can't. Whatever they're telling him, his producer's telling him, he's getting nothing but static.
Yeah, I'm getting more and more in that mood of just none of the above.
Right. But again, I'm telling you, look at the people that are around him. They're done with him. But these people ain't going nowhere. They're just going to find another stooge to prop up, whether it's Nikki Haley or whoever else. These are the people you can't trust. Biden, he's just a stooge. Absolutely skin suit. It's the people around him you need to watch out for. In fact, one of them apologized yesterday for, was it Turley? They put out an apology for stating ahead of time that they were going to bomb some of the
No, Turley's lawyers on Fox all the time would have been Kirby.
It's Kirby.
Admiral Kirby?
No, it wasn't Admiral. But anyway, I've never seen an administration that has to constantly, besides the Obama administration was this way, where they would just change numbers, but they constantly have to apologize and come up with excuses for things that have happened. They cannot get out in front of the ball. They're just playing whack-a-mole.
Well, it was everything. A video, Eddie, that led to protests in Cairo, and that's why the ambassador was shot and killed in Benghazi. Which, speaking of that whole thing, you remember when the Republicans were to get Hillary because of Benghazi?
Dude, they can't even...
Well, and I was reminded of this on the Twitter X last night. The Republican Party has been promising to seal the border for 30 years. Just like they've been promising for 30 years to get rid of the Department of Education. They're liars. Big, fat liars. They're predators. Hey, Democrats, so are your leaders, too. We're run by a bunch of sociopathic predators that know how to play all of us. They got us trained, right? Hate Republicans, hate Democrats.
They do, but these Republicans are so inept or also well together in the uniparty, they can't even impeach Mayorkas, who God we all know is doing the most god-awful job ever to be done.
And they could have, but they kicked out George Santos.
Right.
And Santos, that queen, was all on the internet saying, I would have done it.
Now, how many Republicans swapped over? 14.
Yeah.
So there you go, folks. It's a uniparty. And if you don't think it is, then you are the moron. Because it is a 100% uniparty right now.
But who are you voting for in November?
Trump.
No, I don't have to listen to you.
That's fine. No.
You just want a racist Christian nationalist, like theocracy dictatorship.
Where's the racism part come in? That's
Well,
the
just
part
look
I
at you.
Because I'm Trumpish right now. My orange. You know, I got this new lotion.
What's on the inside?
I got this new lotion called Trump, and apparently makes you a little more orange than normal. And if you look a little more orangey than normal, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to keep putting this, applying this on, and eventually I'll get the same respect that Trump gets.
Yeah, that's what did it for me. Final hour coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A test vote on the Senate border security vote is underway. Several members of the GOP leadership have come out against that legislation. Nikki Haley has lost Nevada's symbolic Republican presidential primary contest to none of these candidates, despite being the only major candidate on the ballot. Nevada's GOP caucuses Thursday is the only one that counts, and former President Trump is expected to handily win. Los Angeles officials say crews have responded to at least 475 mudslides since the latest atmospheric river hit the area. No storm-related deaths reported in Los Angeles, though 7 deaths have been reported elsewhere when the storm came ashore. On Wall Street, the Dow had 177 points, the Nasdaq adding 141. This is SRN News.
The new FedNow system is paving the way for the digital dollar. It grants the government unprecedented access to your financial transactions. This isn't just an invasion of privacy, it's a direct assault on your liberty and hard-earned money. It's another reason why I recommend physical gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst and a podcaster with nearly 25 million downloads to people just like you who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Big Brother while also preserving your retirement savings through almost anything, including economic crashes, political instability, and even hyperinflation. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. And remember, there's no strings attached. Text FAITH to the number 989898 right now, and I pray you're blessed with continued prosperity.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Hi, everybody. Our weather's in cruise control, at least for a couple of more days. We're dry through Friday, and temperatures not bad for early February, with lots of sunshine today, high temperature in the lower 60s. Clouds at times tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 38. More sunshine tomorrow. I think we'll be in the low to mid 60s on Thursday, with clouds increasing Friday, high 71. Risk of showers late Friday night, but scattered showers and thunderstorms increasing in number on Saturday and Sunday. High temperatures over the weekend in the low 70s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
Governor Ivey has appointed 2 new people to sit on the board of the Alabama Public Library Service after 2 vacancies occurred at the end of 2023. Ivey says the 2 women that were chosen for the positions will be making important decisions that directly affect the citizens of the state. Ivey charged the 2 appointees to attend all meetings within reason and to be good stewards of taxpayer money. The appointees are Deborah Windsor and Amy Minton. Minton is an officer within the Etowah County Republican Party and has been a longstanding critic of sexually explicit books that are being placed within children and teen sections of public libraries. Minton told 1819 News that she's not in favor of banning books, and as long as books are available to order online or to purchase at a store, they're not being banned. Minton says not putting certain age-inappropriate books on library shelves is not a form of banning books. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
2 people were shot at a gas station in Birmingham this past Tuesday night. The man and woman drove to Fire Station 30 for help and ended up crashing their vehicle into the building. Firefighters at that station worked to help both victims, but unfortunately the woman died from those injuries. No suspects are in custody at this time. A standoff has ended in Huntsville without incident. Huntsville police were trying to serve a warrant Tuesday night when the person being sought barricaded themselves into a building on Academy Drive. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
It's Evan Bass, founder of Montgomery Men's Health. Around Valentine's Day, I find myself having hard conversations with men and women. When I first started 15 years ago, guys were mostly treating ED and low T for themselves. But relationship dynamics are changing, and spouses and girlfriends book the appointment so often now. The reality is, intimacy strengthens relationships. Being intimate is a relationship game changer. Testosterone can add strength, energy, and drive. Did you know our patients average 3 failures with pills and other places before we successfully treat them? Why? Because it's all we do, all day, every day. Call us today and together let's stop a pattern of failure, because experience matters, outcome matters. If you're serious about changing your life, call us and we'll show you why for over a decade our team has been #1 in Alabama for men's health. Get a jump start on Valentine's Day and book your appointment. Call 334-440-3663 or go to montgomerymenshealth.com and then plan your amazing night. Come see us today. montgomerymenshealth.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Hold on to your butt.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. The news and views in the afternoon. 272-9228. If you want to get in on the program, that's 272-9228. This is Concerned Citizen on the line. Hello, sir or madam. How are you?
I'm okay. I haven't heard a word. I haven't heard y'all say a word about the Republicans not even taking a vote for the strictest immigration bill ever.
Say that again?
How come you're not talking about the Republicans turning down the strictest immigration bill ever?
It's not the strictest immigration bill. You got to stop believing what the news tells you, man.
Far from it.
No. I've listened to all the news. Y'all are liars. Liars.
Okay, well, how about shove it up your backside, Amy? God, y'all are so easily trained like dogs.
Apparently.
Like, she got the training, she got the signal. It's like, we must say, oh, liars, liars. Hey, Amy, or Concerned Citizen, or whatever your name is, or anybody out there, whether you're stumping for Trump or you're riding with Biden, the Republican Party and the Democrat Party have been screwing you on this issue for a generation now. And this latest bill was just the latest example of how they do business. They create a bill they know is designed to fail, that has plenty of poison pills. It lets everybody walk away from the table, then point fingers at the other side. You're the liar. No, you're the liar. You're the hypocrite. No, you're the hypocrite. As these rich a-holes just get richer and continue the con.
Yep.
So thank you for reminding me, ma'am, how easily adults are trained.
I don't know if you should pronoun them. I don't know if it's a man.
Sounded like a man.
Didn't when I answered. I think they're disguising the voice a little bit now, Joey. It was a man when I answered.
It was a man?
Well, not, yeah. Yeah. So.
You never know in this day and age.
That's what I'm saying. Be careful with the pronouns.
Let's see. This is going to be a risky click.
Oh, boy.
Line 1, you're on there. Who's this?
It's the Master Thespian.
Oh, hello, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you. After that last caller, I just had to call in and remind everybody there's a difference between fact and opinion. That unfortunate soul had an opinion that they were willing to throw out on the table without any facts to back it up.
She had facts. Her facts were that we're liars.
Well,
that's the fact she seems.
This is the most stringent bill ever.
You know, I can claim that it's the most stringent bill ever, but if I don't present any evidence to back that up, it's opinion.
Nah.
Right?
Good point.
That's all she was doing. She was flinging her opinion out. It's like what the trolls do on the internet. They're willing to tell all sorts of crazy things to make themselves feel better without looking for the truth.
Well, not only that.
And that's the problem.
Not only that, here lately, every bill that's come out and said it was like, this is the greatest bill for America, if you look at it, it was always the opposite of the title.
Yeah.
Every single bill that's been put out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So just because they put a pretty little title on it doesn't mean it's anything other than crap.
And I always loved, and I actually bought this as a nerd, like a libertarian nerd, that a critique of Ayn Rand was that her bad guys were kind of cartoon characters, like one-dimensional.
Okay.
And I'm like, reading those books again, I'm like, yeah, that's a fair criticism. They are, well, Ellsworth Toohey's a hell of a character in The Fountainhead, but most of them are kind of cookie-cutter, one-dimensional. And then I realize, as I look at the world today, I'm like, no, she got it right. There are a lot of one-dimensional bad guys out there.
Yeah.
Behave just like she described.
I read Atlas Shrugged years ago, and more our reality is becoming like Atlas Shrugged. With all the politicians, they're just in it for the money. They don't care. They don't care about us. All they care about is making their bank account bigger.
And they do it all in the name of fairness and equity, or the Republicans keep going, we're for limited government, as we run a world empire that funds all the weapons. And like, yeah, sure you
But those are trigger words that they're hoping will get you in the happy-feely mode, punching your emotional buttons without giving you any substance. All right? Like they're doling out ice cream and keeping the steak to themselves.
Well, it's great hearing your voice, kind sir.
Sure is.
Well, thank you. Sorry to be just throwing all this stuff on the table, but
throw it out there.
That last caller I got angry. I was like, dang it, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well. But hey, that's a sign that you are stepping on people's toes.
Yeah.
You keep on stepping on those toes, buddy.
Oh, it's going to get worse as the months ahead. It's going to get worse. Yeah. All these mental patients and these adults that need counseling, they can use me as a sounding board. If you want to get your anger out, I'm happy to help.
I appreciate that.
All right. Well, we love you, Joey, and we love you, Eddie. So just keep up the good work.
Thank you, bud.
I'll talk at you later.
Later. Bye. No, I didn't offer it to you.
Oh. Well, never mind.
Well, if you'd like to begin a therapy session, tell me about your relationship with your mother.
All right. That's where it starts and stops. I'm out.
Oh, you're out?
I'm out.
You're not even going to entertain that?
Nope. 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 But comment I just got was somebody. Swear that was a call from an Obama phone.
It might have been. She's been calling for years.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the first time she just described or disguised her voice.
She disguised her voice?
I'm telling you, it was straight up.
There you go. You do it.
Concerned citizen.
Whatever.
You want to look like a jackass on the radio? Call me up. I don't care.
Yeah, and this doing all these bills in the back room, the last second, and a few establishment politicians who could switch teams and nobody would notice.
Yeah.
They all of a sudden say, we've got it. We've solved it. No, you haven't. You designed this to fail.
Not only that, when the same people that wrote this bill have wrote the other bills for the last 20 years that have continually failed and failed and failed.
I had an idea this morning. What if we put Donald Trump in chains and Joe Biden back in chains, because he used to wear them. Nice. You've seen 1970s Biden?
Yeah.
That dude was some freaky deaky stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But you put Trump in chains, throw manacles on him, throw some cuffs. Biden too. Even you go get Obama for killing an American citizen. He needs to be arrested as well. Bill Clinton, that pervert. We know what he's been doing on the Lolita Express.
Yeah.
We'll leave Jimmy Carter alone because Jimmy's. Actually, I think Jimmy is one of the most genuine people who's been president. Even though he was not a good president.
He was not a good president, but I will. And I'm one of the same ones. I thought when he was president, and I was very young, but I just remember the economy and I remember everything going to crap. But afterwards, I grew up, and that's the Jimmy Carter I got to know, and I kept going, why does everybody hate Jimmy Carter? He seems like such a genuine, nice guy.
Well, because the nation was in crisis, and he was kind of like, oh, shucks.
He was too nice of a guy then.
Right. But so take Clinton, all the living presidents on their card. Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden.
Okay.
All 5 of them.
All right. We got them in chains.
And we put them in chains, and then you take the chains off once you put them in a compound that's like this very nice house. But there are cameras everywhere, and they're not allowed to leave. No jet setting, no big $500,000 speeches, no Mar-a-Lago, or your golf game in Saudi Arabia, Donald. Joe, no sniffing anybody. All of you, Barry, Joe, Bill, Donnie, George, they all have to live together in a house, and Americans get to watch 24/7, like the Truman Show. And then you can also pay money to introduce things to the environment.
Yeah.
Here's a knife.
That's what I asked you. Can we, in The Sims, can we bring things into the game?
Yeah, because I think that's the only thing that's going to bring us all together. We got to find a common scapegoat, and it has to be like both presidents of both parties.
Well, then
I think that could work.
The two parties lose. What happens? We just doomed. We don't have a party.
I think we would have a lot more freedom and prosperity. Yeah, if we didn't have these professional crooks hanging over our lives and calling it a service, I think. Yes, and I mean Republicans and Democrats alike.
So you're saying out of the ashes, a phoenix would rise?
No, not even calling for that.
Really?
Yeah, just leave me alone.
No, that's not going to happen.
Right.
I mean, there's the impossible right there. You cannot ask our government to leave you alone.
Right.
It's just not going to happen. How dare you even suggest that they leave you alone?
Well, it's going to be a fun year, Eddie.
It's going to be intense, brother.
Because I love how all the pretense is dropping, where it's not even like.
Oh, there's not even pretending. It's.
Yeah. And plus, at the end of the day, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah?
Yeah, you want a popularity contest, you get to control every aspect of my life.
That's the part
And it's not even you, it's like some guy didn't even win an election who's a professional guy.
Got hired 20 years ago, and he has
like, seriously, the theory that
losing his job.
undergirds all this that they constantly talk about our democracy makes as much sense as like, God told me I am king. No, he didn't.
Yeah, but there's always going to be some suckers that believe it.
And so they replaced God with the people, and they replaced kings with legislatures. But now they're taxing us out the wazoo and killing so many people in wars that kings of old never dreamed of getting away with.
You ain't kidding.
What a messed up world. It's almost like no matter what government we choose, human beings find a way to screw it up.
Yes,
especially when times are good and we think, oh, this will last forever.
Yeah.
Thank you, boomers. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. When you call Alabama Home Mortgage, you will immediately see the difference in pricing. Not only do we offer the most competitive rates, but our closing costs rank among the lowest in the industry. How do we do it? Because we can. We do not have the overhead that big banks and lenders do. Those big banks and lenders have big expenses. And what do? They pass those expenses along to you. Meanwhile, here at Alabama Home Mortgage, we receive wholesale rates which result in big savings that we pass along to you. Don't pay more for less. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our rates and pricing are just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. You all right?
Yeah, they will.
Oh, I thought you were just getting into this stupid little guitar riff.
No, it's a good one, though, Joey. It's a good one.
No, last night I watched an interview of, Rick Beato, his channel, big music producer, player. Anyway, and it's high-quality videos. He sat down with, I can't even remember the guy's name. He was the pianist on a lot of Steely Dan songs.
Oh, really?
Like, remember Ricky Don't Lose That Number?
Yeah, dude. I
was
watch
that
Steely Dan
guy.
videos all the time. The old ones. I love them.
Right, and it was
the
that
energy of that band.
But it's not just they're sitting down doing an interview. They're where he was sitting was in front of a piano.
Yeah.
So when they
he's
start
just
talking
constantly
about
going,
Ricky Don't Lose That Number, he's showing all the parts, and when he does that, like I think it's Mixolydian, the dun 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 dun, the little transition riff. They're both like, "Oh, how did they come up with that?" And I love videos like that.
Me too.
Y'all got to check it out. Really cool. It's Michael O'Martian, one of the unsung giants of music, Michael O'Martian.
Love those style videos. I seen one years ago with Billy Joel, and they were interviewing in front of the piano. And I love it because you could tell when they get nervous, they'll start tinkling on the keys. But at any moment, they'll break out in song or break out in lyric.
Yeah.
I love that.
And they go, how would you describe your playing on Ricky Don't Lose the Number? He goes, I wouldn't have known it at the time, but kind of country. And if you listen to the song, listen back to that song.
I never thought
the
of that
guitar
thing.
work,
Yeah.
the piano sounds like a country song.
Oh, yeah.
But let's go to Duke. Hey, Duke, how you doing?
What's up, Duke?
What's going on, fellas?
Oh, another day, another dollar.
High stepper next to you there, Mr. Eddie. High stepper there. He might be able to hang with me and old Donnie from Queens now.
Everybody's got their limits, buddy.
He put this lady in her place.
Yeah.
Boy, I told Joey, boy, Moo even called me, Joey, after that call. Moo me said, she said, I don't know if I can deal with him right now. She said, I'd rather tiptoe through the jungle with pork chop underwear on than the fool with him right now. I'm scared of him.
He gets a little pimp hand strong. You got to watch out for him. He gets a little pimp hand strong. You got to watch out.
Yeah, don't bring out my inner nihilist when it comes to politics.
Boy, that's Joey talking to a woman? That right there? Last person I heard do that and got away with it was Donald Trump told the judge she's a good-looking woman. Or wasn't a good-looking woman, to get right. I like that right there. I'm always going to refer to Donnie Boy. That Donnie Boy, you want me over with that one, boy.
Well, to be honest, you aren't my type either, so. Oh, man.
But anyhow, though, this NIL type of school choice stuff we had heard last night, it kind of reminds me of the NIL a little bit, doesn't it, Joey?
No, I don't think that's a correct analogy necessarily. Because the money's already allocated. It's not like they're bidding. Like the people who would do the bidding are the schools.
But all the top players, what do I call it? All the top players, all the top schools, all the, these sophisticated private schools gonna get all the best students like they've been getting already. The best athletes and all that. They're gonna pick and choose what they want. But who's gonna pay for this deal, Mr. Joe? Who's gonna pay for all this stuff?
Well, actually, the guy.
I know we already paying for it now. I heard you earlier saying we are paying for it now, but.
Yeah, but also the state senator is putting this word, Arthur Orr, who is a very smart guy.
Yes, he is.
He says that it's very limited, Duke. And that's actually what's got me. I'm kind of like, they told me, hey, Joey, you're going to get a brand new car. And then they gave me a Yugo. And I'm like, oh, well, it is a new car.
It's a new car.
Good. Thanks, guys. This is a very limited entry into school choice. I'll put it that way, Duke. And so it's capped at $100 million. Which Arthur Orr predicts, and I think he's right on this, or I trust him on it, that will just be made up in growth to the ETF. So there will be no revenues pulled from already existing ones. Okay. And it's modest in the sense it gives $7,000 to a parent if they want to send them to an alternative private school. I think it gives $2,000 right now for homeschooling. But it's very limited, and it's capped at $100 million. And it's also means tested, so you have to be underneath 300% of the poverty lines. For a family of four, that's about $90,000. But if single parent, would take advantage of it.
So here's my other thing with this deal right here. Now, are these private schools and all these other schools that not getting the scrutiny like the regular public schools are? Are they going to be under these?
Yeah, this bill calls for.
Are they going to be tested the same?
Yes.
Yes.
And well,
yes.
Are
they going to be? Are they going to be put on a suspension or something like that? Go stand in the corner for 2 or 3 years on probation or whatever the terminology you guys wish to use. Are they going to be treated the same as the regular public schools since they're taking this money?
No, not exactly.
Why now?
Because then if they're doing a bad job, they lose the money. The parent pulls the kid from the school, and this bill calls for, whether it's homeschool, private school, or anything else. You have to pass a approved, essentially general standardized test. And there are different ones that meet that bar.
What I'm saying now, you know how they test the public schools every once in a while, then determine whether or not they're going to keep the kids back in the third grade another year. Are these private schools going to be under this same kind of
there will be a standardized test, but no, the whole point is to get out from the thumb of the central office.
But the thing is, here's one point though. Here's what gets me right here. These schools in the country and rural areas, they can't compete with these private schools and going taking the damn kids 50 miles down the road to get to a school or whatever. Who's gonna
why are you so negative on this?
Because I see what's going on. I've been observing this for years and years and years and years. Because people been using it for an excuse to pay for the private schools to want us to pay for this.
It's means tested. Literally, rich folks can't take advantage of it right now if they passed it. And
that's not the point, though. The point is, it's been in the works in the 60s, dude. Before I was born, here they've been working on this thing.
Why, why shouldn't, say, a young black single mother in Birmingham or Montgomery not be able to take advantage of this and send their kids to a better school?
That's not my argument, though. But what I'm saying,
no, but I'm saying that's what would happen. You would get a massive benefit to this, and people wanted to take it, and a lot of people would take them up on that.
So what about the kids that can't afford to do all this stuff you talking about? So I'm talking about taking care of all of our kids. Let's not.
That's the whole
get these
point.
fancy schools and this new thing you got here. The NIL. I'm gonna call it NIL because they're gonna pick and choose the best students. How is it that all our students not giving their attention? What look like the governor? She's over these kids that's failing, that she said gonna repeat the third grade. She's gonna leave them and go focus on help these people over here.
Literally, this is on offer to everyone that meets that income threshold, which means you can't make too much money.
Right.
This is literally the most modest, curtailed thing.
Let's take their money. Let's take the money off the table. That's not my point. My point is, I feel that they should follow the. If they're gonna,
you feel like they should stay down the public school road that has been disastrous for the last.
Why the love of the current system? Why the love of the current system?
500 years.
Right. Why are we doing that? Duke, you know as well as I do, these public schools that you and I went to are failures. They're failures. Then why do we continue to go down this path? We have to at some point go, hey, we've got to look at another way of doing this.
But what I'm saying, the techniques and the system and the undermining stuff they're trying to put up on us as we're stupid out here. Why going into this big circle? Just go and tell me that you don't want to pay for your private schools anymore. You want to use this money. Stop bitching about how bad the public schools are when your kids not going there. Never went there, never had the intention of going there. So, and my point is, at the end of the day, if I give you this money as a taxpayer, I want to see results like you do.
Do you hold the public school system to that same statement you just said? Are you holding the public school system, who just went up on the taxes here in the state of Alabama, in Montgomery, that you and I, are you holding them to that same standard?
I'm having the kids in the fight. But
then why are you giving a crap about the private education? You just gave away the ghost, brother. You got no kid in the fight. You just want to complain.
Get off the phone, Amy. Get off the phone, ma'am. Oh, sorry. That was the call before. I apologize, Duke.
See you, Duke.
You're not my type anyway. 272-9228. Let's go to Larry. Hey, Larry, how you doing?
Hey, good afternoon. Two things. First of all, Duke, go ahead and whip that checkbook out, and you can make that payable to all the folks you don't like to pay for their education. But on a more serious note, I'm going to endeavor to take a trip through fantasy world.
Okay.
To apply logic and reason to a point in the governor's state of the state.
Oh, man. You sure you want to do this, Larry?
Yeah, let's just try it and see what happens. It may not be unicorns and rainbows, but, we'll find out what happens.
Right.
So my understanding is that we are going to increase teacher pay so that the teachers in Alabama are the highest paid teachers in the southeastern U.S., or, as in her words, higher than any state that borders us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming the logic behind that is if we pay teachers more, we get better teachers, and so therefore we get better prepared students.
I think that's a good assumption about their logic. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So if that's the case, then the teachers that we have must be substandard. So therefore, we should hire all new teachers at the higher rate and replace the current teachers because either A, they're not good enough to go get a better job, or B, they're working down to the level of payment that they're at, and so they're not properly motivated to instruct our children, and therefore even raising their pay, it'd be a 2-year temporary Band-Aid because they go default back to a substandard level of teaching because that level of pay wouldn't be enough in 2 years.
Right, and it's kind of like what the pushing on the string problem. Like, yeah,
Right.
you don't have any tension anymore. The pay thing, yeah, in a normal world, you would say higher pay is going to be more competitive.
But not always.
But come on, there's also lifestyle. There are a lot of folks that choose to live not. People my age, everybody moved from Montgomery. I wonder why. Why do they go teach elsewhere? Why do they go become doctors elsewhere? I wonder why. So, and I don't think it's just pay scale.
Carpetbaggers.
Right. Well, and case in point, I grew up in Connecticut County, which is one of the poorest counties in the
Yes,
state.
it is, yeah.
Graduated from a public high school in a class of 23. My senior year, we had, and this is in the mid-'80s, in my senior year, we had a computer science class. Now, that was not state-funded. What happened was parents and teachers looked at the world and how it was changing and said, we don't need to let our children fall behind. They had bake sales, they did car washes, they did everything they could do to buy 20 computers and paid for a teacher to go to a local junior college and take a computer science class. He then turned around and taught us that our senior year in high school, and that has basically kept me employed for the last 30 years because of the knowledge that I learned in that class and the platform it gave me. That wasn't funded by public schools. It wasn't mandated by the Department of Education. As a matter of fact, the county got so upset that we were the only school who had the course that the year after I graduated, they decided it was, quote-unquote, unfair for them to have an advantage over the other students, took them computers to supposedly disperse them through the other schools, did not, kept them in the central office, and nobody had computer science.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Well, and I really appreciate you sharing that last story, Larry, because, again, I'm radical. If I had a magic wand, I would just abolish public education, and I think people would be amazed at the amount of initiative like folks in your community showed. If they didn't have the option to just send them to that school that's, publicly financed, how many people would look out for one another? I'm not naive. There would be some parents who don't give a damn about their kids.
Certainly.
And you better believe there are a lot of parents currently treating them like that under our current system.
Yes, there is.
But I think we underestimate how much we can solve the problem in small communities, and we rely way too much on these systems that are decrepit, don't get the job done, and it's all to your point, Larry. Great call, man.
But that's what's so frustrating. Like with Larry here, he had the community and the parents say, look down the road and go, hey, I think on this deal we know a little bit better than the public schools. We're not going to ask for your money. We're going to do all this on our own.
Yeah.
And the public school system said, hey, how dare you make us look bad? And that's what happened. And we run into that all the time when leadership changes. We're going to change everything that other leader did just because it has his name on it, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you another point of emphasis, if you want to know what a difference it made, not waiting on the government to fix it for you, the ninth highest, in a class of 23, the number 9 ranked person in my class would have qualified to be the valedictorian at any other school in the county.
It's amazing.
How dare you rock the boat? Make the rest of us look bad.
Well, I appreciate it, Larry. Really do.
Have a good one.
Crabs in the bucket, man. You can't be any better than me. I got to pull you back down to where I'm at.
Yeah. Becomes about a stupid status game.
Yeah.
Seriously, there's responsibility even for kids. And if a kid's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. But at a certain point, you got to go, these kids are kind of following the example of all the role models, so-called, around them. And there are too many folks who ain't rowing or are rowing in the wrong direction in this boat.
A lot of them ain't rowing.
Right. And if you think the way to get everybody to row in the same way, well, we'll just pack everybody in the same place. No, that's exactly the problem.
Right.
People have found little hiding places all throughout the boat to where they don't have to do any work, but they still get paid and fed all the same. fact, they get paid better than a lot of you in the private sector.
And usually they're the ones who complain the loudest.
There are taxpayers and tax takers.
Yes, there are.
Hey, Oz. How you doing, Oz?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm all right, surviving.
So, I've tried to distance myself from the talk radio a little bit. I don't know. The state of the world is not good right now. But
right.
I listen, and I love the points that are being hit on. Amy really hit on something great. Liars. If she's a Democrat, she should really know liars because that's all they do. But then again, so do Republicans. They're politicians, so they're all going to lie to an extent. My point in calling today was on the school stuff, and I have people that know my voice, know where I live. I'm not going to name the name, but there are issues with the school system. I love the school system. I'm born and raised, graduated, and I love it. But it's had a failing grade. Well, what we need to realize is it's not all on the school. It's not all on the state, and it's not all on the teachers. This is a combination of everything, and it starts at the house. It starts in the home. These parents need to instill in these kids, you've got to get an education. If you don't want to go anywhere after high school, that's fine. But you need to stay in high school, you need to get your education, and you need to respect the teachers and authority. You don't need to rebel so much that you fail out or you skip school and you can't read.
All right.
And you don't need to disrespect the teachers so much that all they want to do is pass you to get you out of their class. And that's what's happening in today's world. So it starts with the parent. It goes to the students who want to go to school and bring a knife, who want to go to school and start a fight, who want to go to school and vape, who want to go to school and do whatever they want to do instead of learning.
Right.
And then it goes to administration. You've got to get the teachers that really care about kids and want to teach them and are not going to just pass the kid to get them out of their class. But there also has to be some kind of punishment. If a child comes into that class and disobeys or fail them. They've got to be put back a grade. You can't pass somebody just because you say, if we fail somebody, that's going to hurt our funding. So all of this comes together. Let's stop pointing fingers and blaming everybody else, and let's start holding each other accountable. So parents, look at yourself in the mirror, and what are you doing with your kids? Parents, put your kids over your knee and smack some sense into them, because corporal punishment, that's where it needs to come from. If you're not punished, you're not going to think you're doing anything wrong.
Hey, man, and you said a lot there. You said the God-honest truth. That with schools or anything else, when there's a corrupt system, the only way you can really start to fight back is taking personal responsibility one by one. And that just makes it plainer as day. Once you start doing everything you should be doing, it makes it easier to see where the real corruption lies. And
that's right. And I want to reiterate, I'm not pointing fingers at schools.
Right.
Schools that have problems, it's a combination. It's not all the schools, not all parents. So
right.
The school, if people know me and know who I am, know where I'm from, I'm not saying it's all the school, because I love my hometown school. But, as society, we've got to look at ourselves and see what we're accepting, what we are allowing to happen,
yep.
who we are allowing in the schools, and everything. Then parents, step up and be a parent. Don't be a friend to your kid. Sorry, Joey, I rambled on a little bit.
No, that was great.
Good, Oz.
Thank you, Oz. Really appreciate it.
All right, man. Y'all take care.
See you, bud.
In 272-9228. Before we hit this break, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting.
I gave their number out to 2 different people today, Joey.
356-8635?
Yes. While I was showing the house over there in Halcyon, I had a lady started asking about the roof and the age of the roof, and we got talking. She said, well, I need a new roof on my house.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you know what? I got a guy for you. I was
Clark?
Really? Yes. I gave her the number. She said, I'm going to call some other ones. I said, do me this favor. Call him first.
Yeah.
Call him first, and I bet you will not call anybody else. So I guarantee she's going to do it because I told her about my metal roof. She has a metal roof. I told her some of the unique problems a metal roof can have she was not made aware of.
Right.
So I feel like I put the two together today.
Well, and at River Region Contracting, that inspection is always free.
Yep.
So you shouldn't get that done on a regular basis.
Exactly.
Especially with all this crazy weather we've been having. And their estimates when they find an issue are also always free. And their insurance specialists there at River Region Contracting. So if they find a problem that your insurance might cover, they can walk you through that claims process and make it an easy and swift, even pleasurable experience. Not something you usually associate with insurance claims,
Not at all,
but
Joey.
that's how good Todd Clark and the team are there at River Region Contracting. So check them out today. That number, 356-8635, 356-8635. And be sure to tell those fine folks there at River Region Contracting that Joey and Eddie from the radio, those two fools on the radio, sent you. More news and views after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
The Montgomery Performing Arts Center presents Samantha Fish featuring Jesse Dayton.
Your kiss is like a death wish. If she could, she would be still. But the story goes just like this.
Don't miss one of the most dynamic forces in the blues world today, Samantha Fish featuring Jesse Dayton, live Wednesday, February 14th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets now at the Impact Box Office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
It's time to show your sweetheart how much you care with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Valentine's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call, 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for your sweetie. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations, 285-1000.
Hi, this is Jason with Wholesale Hunter. We've been advertising with Blue Water for a while now. We have great results with them. Appreciate everything they do with us.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Hi, everybody. Our weather's in cruise control, at least for a couple of more days. We're dry through Friday, and temperature's not bad for early February, with lots of sunshine today, high temperature in the lower 60s. Clouds at times tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 38. More sunshine tomorrow. I think we'll be in the low to mid 60s on Thursday, with clouds increasing Friday, high 71. Risk of showers late Friday night, but scattered showers and thunderstorms increasing in number on Saturday and Sunday. High temperatures over the weekend in the low 70s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Now, there's a lot we didn't get to. This always happens when we get all these great phone calls. Thank you, folks, for all the calls, especially you, concerned citizen. Love you, man. Like, I don't want to fight.
Those pronouns.
No, I don't want to fight. I love everybody.
You're always been a lover, not a fighter, Joey.
No, I want everybody to get along, to understand one another. And as I've grown older, I've realized, well, that ain't possible.
That ain't happening.
Like, some people just want to fight.
Yes.
And also, you gotta, whether smarter than me or dumber than me, like just on a basic level, and there's plenty of people smarter than me, plenty of folks dumber than me. It's not just a matter of like how good you are or like how quick you are. People's brains work differently.
Oh, definitely.
And it's a fact of life that has kind of hit me in the face like a ton of bricks the last few years. You're like, folks are very, very different. And it's actually, I think, what makes the world a beautiful place, but it also creates a lot of conflict.
Sure.
So just don't underestimate that, folks.
Like, say you and I, we can have the same conclusion and get to the same conclusion. But sometimes we have to take different routes to get there. Well, it's just a matter of fact. People are different.
Now, are you going to watch the NBC Peacock new documentary on Stormy Daniels?
No, I didn't even know anything about it.
Well, you're not a middle-aged woman.
I feel like I've watched plenty of Stormy Daniels.
Or
like more of Stormy Daniels than I probably need to know.
Nor are you a gay man of a certain age. I don't think you're the target audience.
The certain age part, boy, that really played. I messed up the other day and said my sisters are women of a certain age.
Should we watch the trailer together?
Please.
Okay. Here, let me find it. I didn't realize there was a trailer when I first found the story, and now I just realized it. So we got to watch this together. It's the documentary, very creatively, is called Stormy.
I kept waiting for the other parts of that, Joey.
Yeah, no,
the description of
it's just called Stormy. And well, here we go, folks. This has been put together by Peacock, NBC. Let's see what they're putting down here. No, sorry. Got to turn the audio on.
Yeah, let's get some audio up.
So it essentially starts with like whether you trust, love, blame, or blah, 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 blah. Then it's going to a bunch of clips of her storming in and out of the courthouse. I turned into a news anchor there for a second. Did you hear my pun?
Okay, I'm ready.
Thought we did this.
Really sold me on that.
Thought they did this back when they made Pretty Woman. I mean, this is the things we're doing movies about, documentaries about. Man.
Right.
Really?
Well, there's documentaries about everything.
Yeah, but somebody said, you know what? After seeing her, I think we should do a documentary about Stormy Daniels. Really? There's nothing else better for you to do.
Well, we're talking about it. It's going to sell probably.
If it sells, it'd be two crowds, the pervs and the Dems. That's it.
The pervs and the Dems?
Yeah, pervs hoping they get a shot of some inside information on Stormy, and the Dems because they hate Trump.
Now, as we get up to this break, I got another clip, but, we're running out of time here. There's Peter St. Onge talking about the most ridiculous job report in history.
I've seen that one. That's a good one, Joey.
Yeah, I think that's the one we need to go with because we also have Barack Obama saying Bitcoin is everyone walking around with a Swiss bank account in their pocket.
I got Swiss bank account in my pocket?
Yeah, like, stop making Bitcoin sound cool, Barack.
Dude.
You're going to make more people pick up Bitcoin.
I think you go buy some more.
No, but he was saying that's a bad thing because the government can't get in there and stop the bad people. Well, but who's going to save me from the government?
Right.
When it's taken over by bad people, which it obviously has been.
And I'm a good person, so you don't have to come touch mine.
And again, for the dumb, that includes Republicans and Democrats and folks whose names you probably don't even know. There are a lot of bad people running things. It's almost like power corrupts folks. But Chinese dissident, Ai Weiwei?
Who?
Ai Weiwei.
Okay.
Or Ai Weiwei?
See, that's just with the green kids, so I'm just...
I think it's Weiwei, not Weiwei.
I'm going with Weiwei. Several Chinese I know.
Because he's Chinese, not French.
Weiwei.
But Ai Weiwei said, you cannot talk about the truth nowadays. I grew up with heavy political censorship in China. Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
I think he remembers the Maoist color revolution. Get a load of the next sentence. Today in the West, you're doing exactly the same. But let's go to the most ridiculous jobs report in history. This is Peter St. Onge breaking down, that latest blockbuster report. Oh, they did such an amazing job. Biden and team are doing such a good job. Well, when you look under the hood and behind the headlines, well, there's a certain something that you notice.
It's called the most ridiculous jobs report in recent history. On the surface, it was a blockbuster, and as with pretty much all jobs reports nowadays, it was a clown show on the inside. So first, the blockbuster. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, whose in-house statisticians are among the most creative your tax dollars pay, reported that the U.S. unexpectedly added 353,000 jobs last month. That was double the Wall Street consensus, meaning either Wall Street really sucks at estimating jobs, or Joe Biden's statisticians are just that good. The numbers were stellar across the board, with unemployment holding steady and average hourly earnings spiking by 4.5%, also way beyond predictions. At which point, we pull away the curtain. Start with that amazing job growth. It turns out it isn't real. It was magicked up by BLS statisticians slashing the work week. Now, if you pretend there's fewer hours, the pay per hour magically jumps. Not because people were paid more, but because you assumed, with no evidence, the work week down. In fact, they slashed it all the way down to 34.1 hours, note 40 is full-time. Outside COVID lockdowns, that is a number we have not seen since the depths of the 2008 crisis. In other words, the only way wages are stellar are if you assume that hours are being cut to 2008 crisis territory. Why would you do that? Two reasons. Either we are actually in the depths of a 2008 crisis, blockbuster or no, or you need some extra budget from the White House and told your statisticians to get extra creative. Worse is the jobs themselves. In short, they're not real, according to now a parade of data series. In a recent video, I mentioned the Census Household Survey, which actually asks people if they're working, and that suggests that roughly half the BLS jobs are fake. In fact, according to Census, last month we didn't get a blockbuster 353,000 jobs, we actually lost 31,000. Second, data on part-time work suggests that actually we created precisely 0 full-time jobs last year. What jobs we got were DoorDash and second jobs because people cannot make ends meet. Third, yet other data, this time by the Wall Street Journal, says the few full-time jobs that were created last year were mostly government and social assistance. Things like using taxpayer billions for illegals. Note, if we had 0 net full-time jobs, yet half of what was created was government, then the private sector actually shrunk a lot. Note, the private sector is the sector that actually creates things. The government does not create. So if private is shrinking, we are getting poorer as a country. And finally, speaking of illegals, new data says the US economy has created literally 0 jobs for native-born workers since 2018. All of the job growth has been foreign-born. So how can the numbers be so far off, you ask? One word, seasonal adjustment. In fact, comparing raw data to the BLS seasonal adjustment, there's literally a 3 million job difference. Now, seasonal adjustment is legit, say Christmas-time warehouse workers or summertime fruit pickers, but 3 million in statistical adjustment leaves a whole lot of room to do friends for your favors at the White House. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. The two most important economic statistics for Joe Biden are jobs and inflation. Both, at this point, are gamed to hilarity. The facts on the ground are what Americans are saying in opinion polls, that things are hard and getting harder, but the media will keep gaslighting and Americans will keep believing what they see with their own eyes. Okay, we'll be watching.
Again, folks, that's Peter St. Onge. Fantastic commentary.
I got to disagree with him on something. He said government does not create anything. Government does create a lot. Government creates war, they create panic, and they create COVID.
They created nukes, too.
There you go.
I saw Oppenheimer.
Oh, that's right.
I know things.
Did you see Barbie?
No.
Good choice.
No. Though I've seen clips, and the Kate McKinnon Barbie, it reminds me of an ex.
Oh!
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Conservative Justice Sarah Stewart has the experience to lead Alabama's courts. As a tough-on-crime judge, Sarah Stewart presided over hundreds of cases, giving tough sentences to the worst criminals. Republicans can trust Justice Sarah Stewart to defend the Constitution and protect our families. On March 5th, vote conservative Republican Sarah Stewart for Alabama Chief Justice. Paid for by Sarah Stewart Campaign, 2029B, Airport Boulevard, Mobile, Alabama, 36606.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. And I believe we have Ray Bowles on the line.
Yes,
Ray,
we do.
How you doing today, sir?
Hey, my Bluetooth fixed to pick up
Why's that?
because I just cranked up my car. I'm late for an appointment.
Oh, boy. Ray?
I'm back.
All right.
Hey, I'm back.
Good to hear.
I'm so sorry. I'm like, oh no, I gotta go. I got a 3 o'clock. It's 2:58. Y'all are my alarm clock.
We're your 3 o'clock every day, Ray.
I know. Well, as soon as I saw that, I said, oh, I'm late, guys, and out the door I was running. It's been a busy day. I've already been to Auburn and back.
Oh, wow. How was God's country when you got over there?
It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful, except for I had to turn in my taxes to my county.
Ouch.
And I got a parking ticket because I jumped out of the car and I thought I could run upstairs and get out of there before they caught me. And no, I got.
Ray,
a
you're not as
ticket on top
fast
of
as
it.
you used to be, man. We're getting older, buddy.
No, I know. It was actually Angie's fault because she was with me
Yeah?
and she got to talking. I'm like, we didn't pay. We got to go. And sure enough, there was an orange sticker on the window.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we were in her car. I'm like, well, that's yours.
Oh, there you go. That's her ticket.
Yep. Yeah. But somehow it still ended up on my desk.
Well, it sounds like you're surviving and you're still selling carpet and other flooring products, right?
We are, and I tell you what, we still have some extremely good products on sale right now. I've still got 2 pallets left of the $5 a foot stuff that I bought in the at the show.
Yep.
We've got a new premier display finally set up with the new carpet that's absolutely insane how good it does with pets and anybody else. So if you're looking for a floor, call us today at 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement just that quick.
Again, that number for Prattville Carpet, 285-8117. And be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Guys, have a great day.
Appreciate you, Ray.
Don't be late.
Late for an important date?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good rule of thumb. Hey, Greg's next.
That's it. I see
Happy
Rosie
hour.
now.
Appreciate you, Eddie.
Appreciate you, bro.
Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center.